Hello, and thank you so much for joining us this week for episode 2 of Waterdeep Dragon Heist, hosted by Variant Roles. I am Eugenio Vargas. I use he, him pronouns, and I am also known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hands from the actual play podcast, The Last Refuge. Welcome back. If you joined us last week here for the winter team, this team's adventures in Waterdeep, and just welcome if you didn't. You can check out last week's episode of our team and the other 3 teams on the VODs here on Twitch or on YouTube at the Variant Roles channel if you want to go check that out. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go around real quick and introduce the rest of this awesome winter crew team. Why don't we start this week with Alex? Hey, Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Ready to get started. Tell us about you and about your character, Syl.
Excellent. My name is Silme. I am a silver-skinned tiefling rogue. I am a she, her, I guess.
You guess?
Yeah. I'm the light-fingered one.
Right. Excellent. I love it. How about you, Stephen? How you doing this week?
Hi, I'm doing fantastic. My name is Stephen Rowe. I use he, him. My Twitter handle is @rightrowe. I am playing Rowan Tosscobble Porchpot. There's a hyphen between Tosscobble and Porchpot. He is a halfling, although he prefers the word hen, and he is a bard, and he also uses he, him.
Fantastic. Let's hop over to Jonathan. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well. I'm ready to get this going tonight. I'm Jonathan Cox. You can find me at Red Hand Roleplay on Twitter, and I play Realgar Rocky Faramaki, who is the brawler and the bruiser. When it's not Annie next door. So
I love that it rhymes when you say it with his nickname in the middle. I didn't notice that last week.
Yeah, that's why when the announcers are in the ring calling out his name, it really it plays up well. So
I love it. Let's keep it in the Red Hand family. How are you doing over there, Allison?
Doing great. I'm also with Red Hand Roleplay, but you can find me on Twitter at Atletica0505. She, her pronouns for both me and my character. Anivel Rothkama, barbarian, if you couldn't guess that from last week.
She hasn't gotten mad yet, so it's fair enough.
That's true. Blacksmith order with the Order of Skilled Smiths and Metal Forgers.
I love that. Channel that rage into something productive and creative. And last but most certainly not least, Max. How you feeling today, bud?
Well, hi everyone. I'm Max at AllMaxD20. I use he, him pronouns, and as such, I have a man cold. And I am playing Theron Lies, an elf who uses they, them pronouns, and is the party healer.
Fantastic. So that is our crew for this evening. For those of you who weren't able to join us last week, just a quick recap and a little bit about what we're doing here. So we are the Winter Team. We're one team out of 4 teams in a mega stream who are all playing through Wizards of the Coast's newest published adventure, Waterdeep Dragon Heist, as you hopefully know by this point. All 4 of the teams are going through the same adventure, and their stories are somehow connected, but we haven't seen too much of how that's going to work yet, but stay tuned for that. The other 3 teams have their shows on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We'll give you more information about that at the end of the episode tonight. But last week here with the Winter Crew, our adventurers helped break up a bar fight in the Yawning Portal Tavern, a famous tavern in Waterdeep, primarily catering to adventurers. And in doing so, they caught the eye of one Volo Tamp Gadarm, who then hired the group to go and find his missing friend, Floon Blagmaar, a hot but not super bright human dude who was last seen by Volo a few nights before. After asking about Floon's activities on the night in question at the Skewered Dragon Tavern in the dock ward of Waterdeep, the party tracked him to a seemingly abandoned warehouse on Candle Lane. On one of the doors to the warehouse is a symbol, with a now familiar symbol to the adventurers, that of the Zentarim, a faction within the city of Waterdeep that has been of late engaged in open conflict on the streets of the city with another organization known as the Xanathar's Guild. But all of that will become more clear as we continue, so let's see how they plan to get Floon back now that they've arrived at his alleged location. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what we're doing.
Okay, well, first we're going to rest and just, take an opportunity to catch our breath and, figure out the plan. And I'm going to have to organize all my papers.
I cannot think of a better way to start an episode than with a rest.
Yes.
It's just really the most exciting of options.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. Okay, so then Rowan just like lays out a bunch of papers because he's just been making all these notes and sketches, and it's horribly organized at this point. All right, Silme, I think that we can talk our way in here. What I think we should do is we should just kind of present ourselves as the Toss Cobble Porchpot family, and we have like a valid reason to talk to these people. They're trying to make inroads into the city. They're trying to go toe to toe with like the next best thing to a thieves guild. We're a criminal organization. We can offer them something, and maybe in the process we can get Floon or make some sort of negotiation for it. If that doesn't work, we can just case the place.
How do you stay a criminal organization when you're always advertising it out in public like this?
Well, you all know about it. I work with you, and it's kind of just necessary. We've got deep ties to the community. We're like a regular pillar. We're kind of open about it. It's kind of like how everyone knows the Xanathar's Guild is kind of into thievery, but it's totally okay.
Well, whatever we're gonna do.
Okay.
Generous description, but all right.
We should find a place that's not so out in the open. I am freezing, and Annie won't let me stand too close to her. But I'm gonna try anyway.
Do you blame her? Every time you try to get closer, you try to braid her hair.
Just as poor Theron mentions how cold they are, the sky sort of opens up with a light snow that begins to fall on you all. And
that's nice.
Those of you who are bothered by such things do notice that it is, in fact, quite chilly.
Rowan, your papers.
Yeah. Oh no. I'll try to fold them up so that they just get too smeared. But then in the process drop one.
Rowan, do you really want to start with, hey, we're a crime family, or do we just want to start talking first and then maybe not mention the fact that we are also another crime family that they may want to compete with?
No, absolutely. And you can do that thing where you talk in code and stuff. So I just figured you do that, and we can kind of play both sides of things.
First rule of Thieves' Cant is we don't talk about Thieves' Cant.
Oh, is that what it's called? I don't know. I just know that you have weird symbols and stuff.
All right. So do we have something of a plan then for you guys to make your first attempt, right? But we do want to take a short rest first. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay.
Sure.
So it is chilly, and you are standing in the middle of a, to be fair, fairly dark, but not entirely covered alley. So what exactly do you want to do in terms of shelter for this minimum hour that you're spending with the short rest?
Is there any place nearby that might offer a little bit more shelter? I don't know if there's any bars that would be open at this time of night.
Sure. Rowan, why don't you give me a wisdom perception check?
16.
See what you find. All right. So a lot of the buildings in Candle Lane sort of have a somewhat dilapidated look to them, like most of the dock ward does, to be fair. You check around, you notice a couple of places that look abandoned, but you do find one that appears to actually be abandoned and not just sort of being used, but in disrepair, that you guys can go into and have a little shelter for the hour.
Okay. Hey, look, there we go.
It's not particularly warm, but at least it's covered, so you're not out in the snow. Syl, do you have a question?
I do. Thank you. Long time caller, first time listener. Wait. I was wondering, so I'm doing just fine. Would it benefit us at all for me to kind of just get eyes on some stuff? Maybe walk around the building, see what... I don't want to say case the joint. I'm not looking to rob it yet.
You don't want to say case the joint, but that's what you mean.
That's what we mean.
Case the joint.
I think that's okay.
Would that be all right with you guys? Well, you guys are getting a little bit of a breather. Ani, you definitely need to see to some of those bruises and some of those wounds. Rocky, maybe you can help. Theron, maybe you could help. And if you try to braid her hair, I'm going to break one of your fingers.
I gave her all
I have a
healing
spell
ahead.
that I'd like to cast, but if you don't mind waiting, I don't mind going with you too. I don't really need to rest. I just thought it'd be a good idea for everybody else.
Well, do you just want to come with me
If you can just give me a little while to cast a spell, then I think I can do that, and then I can come with you.
Okay, that's fine. Get
Alright.
the old gang back together. Rowan's out to case the joints.
Yeah, this sounds great. Everything's going to
Sounds
go.
like a terrible
blossoming.
idea.
Don't
Can't
do
wait. Let's do
anything
it, darling.
stupid, Sil.
That feels like
Darling,
a tall
you know
order.
me.
Yeah, I do know you.
Is it really
Alright.
stupid though if it works?
Feels like a
Kind of.
big if.
if
All right.
Put it on.
So those of you who are taking a short rest can roll hit dice and regain any short rest features that you have. Is anyone other than Rowan, and Sil going to be not resting and doing recon or anything else?
Yeah, I'm willing to go with you guys if you want. Yeah, I don't need to. I'm not worried about the cold or anything. So
Yay!
Great. All right. So Theron and Ani are gonna chill and rest, and the other three of you are gonna head out. Okay, so Rowan, it sounds like you want to ritually cast a spell. What are you casting for us?
Comprehend languages.
Great. All right. So Rowan sort of sets up in one corner of this little abandoned building and pulls out some components and begins sort of chanting and muttering and making passes. And why don't you describe what the effect is? There a visual component once the effect takes place? Do we see anything?
I don't think so. But you know, he'll incorporate a very cute tiny hen viol that he has that's got like some really intricate silver etching that's in a weird language actually. And so he'll kind of just go over the symbols as they're meaningful to him, and it helps to kind of concentrate on something that isn't his native tongue.
Great, I love that. All right, so 10 minutes go by. Sil is undoubtedly beginning to get impatient by the end of it, but Rowan does manage to complete his ritual casting of comprehend languages, and you guys, you folks, the three of you are out to do a bit of reconnaissance. So why don't the three of you then give me dexterity stealth checks first?
Ooh, false roll tonight.
I'm loving these faces. Let's start with Sil.
That's a 14.
Okay, and Rowan.
7.
And Rocky.
I got a song stuck in my head.
Yeah.
yeah, I had a 14, so not too shabby.
Not too bad. So we'll call it for this particular little recon mission. We'll call it a group check. So two of you did quite well and were able to sort of catch and muffle the sounds of Rowan stumbling and forgetting to speak quietly on occasion as you all check out the surroundings. So
It's like we're trying to take out a place with a toddler.
A little bit.
something
Sometimes.
like that. So as you all check out this warehouse, a few other details that you see. So what you were standing outside of when you first arrived was a sort of high metal fence that had a gate on it. The gate didn't appear like it had any locking mechanism on it. It just sort of was a latch sort of situation. On the other side of the fence was a large yard, probably about 25 feet by 50 feet. And then the warehouse itself was on the other side of that yard. You saw a great big warehouse loading dock door, and right next to it, a smaller sort of normal sized door. And on that door was where you found the symbol of the Zentarum painted on the door. To the left and a little ways over from those two doors was also a dirty, grimy window that appeared to also lead into the ground floor of this 2-story warehouse. Why don't you all tell me, is there anything in particular that you're looking for while you're doing this recon?
I guess I'm looking for lookouts. I'm trying to see if perhaps anything. You're saying it looks pretty grimy, but I'm wondering if maybe there's portions that look cleaner, like maybe something that has been moved or chicken for traps.
All right, so why don't you make me, and the other two of you can either make your own perception checks, or one of you can choose to help Sil and give her advantage on the check.
I'll help her.
Okay, great. So Sil, take advantage and go ahead and give me a wisdom perception check.
10.
Oh boy. 10. Okay.
I'm so wise.
You don't notice any lookouts or scouts or anything on the outside. I'm assuming that do you want to maybe go up and sort of check the window itself? Was that what I was hearing? Or are you sort of staying outside the fence?
I want to check the window quietly.
Okay, all right. I mean, you had a decent stealth roll, and for this part, we're just going to sort of roll with that. So you can sort of go in very quietly, head up. You notice that you're able to catch the gate, the fence gate, before it makes too much noise, but you notice that it's pretty rusty and squeaky, so you have to be real careful with it. You head over to the window. It's real hard to get a look in there. You don't notice any movement inside. You see some shapes. Some of them look like they might be boxes and crates and things like that, and some other shapes that you can't really identify around the floor of what looks like a pretty large open room. Mm-hmm. But you can't make out a ton through all the grime on the window, and you don't want to spend too much time just in case anybody spots you. So that's sort of what you see. Anything else that you want to scope out?
Does it look like there's any places around the outside of the building that looks like it might go into something underneath, like a cellar door or something?
No, there's definitely no sort of like exterior cellar doors. You also don't notice, as you sort of scout around, you don't notice any other windows on the ground level. There are a couple of windows up on the second floor that look equally dirty and grimy, but that's sort of the only other exterior features that you really see.
And I don't see any kind of like symbols of thieves speak around that would be like...
No.
Not with my 10.
No.
That dice is in Chase jail right now.
All right. So do we feel happy with our recon, our short rest recon? I mean, probably not, but like, is there anything else? All right, great. So that takes, a good chunk of the hour that Theron and Ani are resting. You all go back. You have a little bit of downtime as well. How long does comprehend languages last, Rowan?
An hour.
Okay, great. So you got a little time left on it, but you could also recast it towards the end of the short rest if you wanted.
Certainly, please.
Great. All right. So the rest is over. About an hour has passed. We're moving later in the night, and you are all set to head in and do whatever it is that you want to do next. Ani, I assume you took your hit dice and did whatever it was that you needed to do there.
Yep, I'm back at full.
Fantastic. Love to hear it. Okay, so what are you folks doing?
I think we're going to go back. We're going to approach a little bit more openly this time with Silme just attempting to. I think you're just going to try to go up and knock on the door. I mean, since we can get through the gate and stuff, right? And I'll back you up. And if they don't answer, they don't answer. And we can try to get their attention with magic.
Maybe you should have some muscle behind you there, either Rocky or myself, to just in case, I mean, no offense, Rowan, but you're like 2 feet tall, so.
Yeah, no, I don't take any offense by that. It's although I'm a little bit taller than that. But no, yeah, both of you are equally intimidating. So if you both want to come, that would be great. If everyone wants to come, that would be great. Or maybe Theron can just stay back and keep watch for us.
Let's keep the group small at first. The last thing we want to do is look like we're about to come in and storm the place.
Oh yeah.
Fair.
If anyone's seen us, they've seen the three of us. Why don't the other two hang back, and if trouble comes, they come to help?
That sounds good. Why don't I take the muscle as if they're my bodyguards? I can try and appear somebody important. How did you do? See what we can get.
Sounds great.
All right, so Sil is
I think
going.
you're important, Sil.
Aww.
Oh, hey, and just like, and just in case things do go bad, not that I think that they will. I think everything's going to go just absolutely great. But just in case they do, let's try to keep the casualties to a minimum, maybe the damage down. Just in case we have to answer some really awkward questions later to the watch.
Oh,
casualties down.
God.
Just a suggestion.
Just a little carnage, maybe? Just a little.
Just a little, yeah.
Please?
Nothing permanent?
I can't stop.
I can work with this. I can work with this. We can figure this out.
No.
All right. Let's do
All right.
this.
So Sil is going. Who's the muscle that's going with her? Rocky.
My
Okay,
two.
great.
Yep.
Fantastic. All right, and you're just heading up through the gate and up to the door, yeah?
Yeah, and I was gonna knock Thieves Can't speak
Sure.
and theme.
Great. On the loading dock door or the main door? They're right next to each other. It's just
I don't know.
I say main
Screw it.
door.
Let's do the main door.
okay. Great. So you knock a little thieves can't message and sort of hang out for a moment, but you don't get any sort of response.
I look over at Rocky and go, "You want to get into some trouble?"
Is it locked? Can you just check to see if it's locked real quick?
I was gonna check. Are you with me?
Yeah. Oh, I thought that I was.
Yeah,
Am I
I
not?
thought so too. No, I thought you were as well.
Yeah. Hi. Sorry, I'm very easily missed.
I was just
Rocky
gonna say.
had Rocky's knee. I didn't see you.
Yeah, I can hide behind people like that. It's just.
Oh, bless.
I was thinking of being 30 feet
I love
off to
it.
the side.
Great. And Ani, where are you?
I guess I'm not too close to Theron because I don't want to be, but like I know he's like an easy target because the first time we met. So I'm just kind of like guarding him, but not really closely guarding him and more watching these people. So
Yeah, I like to see if it's unlocked and check for traps.
All right, go ahead and give me an intelligence investigation check for that.
Can I help her?
Yes, you absolutely can. Take advantage on it.
Thank God, I went from a 5 to a natural 20.
Yeah, what?
That would be 24 total.
I love it.
Thanks, Matt.
What's that?
Thanks, Matt Dice.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so it does indeed appear to be locked. Definitely not trapped, but does seem to be locked. Yes.
Okay. Well, one option, if you would like, is I can cast a spell that will basically make your voice a really, really loud projection inside of the space, and you can just talk to him directly like that, kind of like a megaphone.
Or we can just break in.
Yeah, we could do that, but then we're kind of throwing the idea of diplomacy out the window.
Well, how do they not know that it just wasn't unlocked in the first place?
I happen to know from watching you guys also that, and I think with your natural 20, this is a detail that you would also notice that the door does in fact open out into the street.
Oh, well, that's convenient. I can also, one thing I can do is put an illusion of the door over the door, and then you can pick it and open it, and we'll still have like that in place. And we can check inside to see if there's anybody waiting to stab us.
Sure, but first,
Okay.
let's pick the lock.
So excited. All right, go ahead and give me a dexterity thieves tools check.
Okay. Whew. What is that?
Yes.
My dex plus my proficiency?
Yeah, yes, correct.
6.
Oh, damn this lock. It's very complex.
It's gonna be a bad
You
night.
just can't. They are a little paranoid about security to have installed such a fine lock on their establishment.
Worst enemy, doors.
Hey, thanks for the cheer, Mazvan.
Is everything okay? Are you having a bit of a time with it?
I think my tools are broken.
Oh no!
Oh, God, I'm gonna have to buy new ones. Oh no. Oh.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess back to plan A. Just see if we can get them to come to the door and open it for us.
I'd rather do the sneaky way. Can I just try again? Do not get another chance at it.
Sure, you can have one more go.
Thanks, boss.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the window. We could always try the window.
I could give it a
You
try.
can definitely get in the window.
I've picked a lock or two in my
I
time.
understand. You might be a little too high, large, little brother. I want
To pick the lock or get in the window.
No.
I don't know.
Through
Which
the
way does
window,
it
right?
come on the 21?
Hold on. I've got a lot of information coming at me. All right, let's go with Syl. Syl, what did you do?
I was like, I bent back one of my pieces, and I'm gonna try this again.
At the door.
Yes.
Okay, great.
One
And you
more
got a 21.
time, and I got a 21.
Theron, what were you doing?
I was just offering to do it myself if she couldn't do it hers.
Okay, got it. All right, so while you came over and offered and started having a discussion about it, Syl sort of went over and took a deep breath and gave it one more go and was able to jimmy open that lock, and you just feel that satisfying little click.
That competitive motivation.
Cool, 1-1. Mm-hmm.
Did you
Right,
get it?
so the door is unlocked.
Oh!
As far as you were aware. What's next?
Well, I think I'm going to put a minor illusion of the door over the door so that we can open it out into the outside. And it's very easy for you to kind of just touch the illusion of the door and see through it.
I love that solution. Excellent. All right, so Rowan conjures an illusion. It's sort of hard to see. You just see like a little bit of a fuzz by the door at first before you actually open it. You can it's hard to tell that anything happened because it is an excellent illusion. Who's opening the door?
I guess I will.
All right, so Syl sort of reaches and very quietly. Why don't you make me a dexterity stealth check to see how quietly this door opens?
Okay.
Man, your dice hate you. What'd you get?
Oh no!
So it just screams as
This
it
was my
opens
nightmare.
up. Which is, for the rest of you, before you've interacted with Rowan's illusion, is super weird to watch. Like, the door is opening, it's really loud, you see it opening, but you also see the door not moving. It's very, very strange to look at. But you can each sort of in turn go up and just very lightly interact with the illusion without actually passing through it, but just enough that all of a sudden it sort of fuzzes and you can see it as sort of an indistinct, just shadowy, translucent image that you can see through and into the warehouse. And so looking into the warehouse, you see this, again, very large open space. Tables and chairs are just sort of carelessly tossed all across the floor. You see, again, all of those crates and barrels and boxes and other things like that are clearly filled with various sort of supplies. You are also now able to identify those other shapes that you couldn't quite make out from the windowsill. You see the corpses of about a dozen men lying mostly along the walls, and you can see daggers and rapiers sort of lying nearby them.
Oh, somebody started the carnage without me.
Well, this significantly changes things. Okay. But it was locked from the inside, wasn't it?
It was locked, yeah.
It seems to be. Well, I guess if there was it like a keyhole? Could it lock from the outside?
It could, yeah. It wasn't like a bar, like a whatever, that sort of lock. Mm-hmm. It was definitely something that could be locked from either side.
The killer is still in the house.
I guess that's possible. I mean, yeah, that would be my assumption, actually. As opposed to the committing mass murder and then just quietly locking the door behind you on your way out. That seems, I don't know. I'm not sure I'd take the time to do that.
Is there enough light in there?
Anyway,
should we get the guard?
Yeah. You want to check the bodies?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's check the bodies first. Maybe
We need some light.
hopefully one of them's not Floon.
I feel like
maybe go ahead and call everybody else. Yeah. Hey, they're dead, so.
Very nice.
How dark is it in here?
All right. There's no external source of light, so really just the light that's coming from the candle that gives Candle Lane its name outside is sort of filtering in lightly through the door. But those of you who have dark vision, which is who? There's only like one of you, right? Right, which is Syl. Oh, and Theron.
I'll take...
Do you have dark vision?
She's half an orc, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah,
oh, yeah. That's right. Okay.
So I take one of my daggers, I cast the light cantrip on it, and I fling it at the ceiling.
I like it. Make an attack roll just to see what happens.
15.
Yeah, good enough. All right, so it sticks up in the ceiling, which is quite a ways up. It's a pretty tall ceiling, but you do manage to stick it in there and sort of light the area. Cool. Why don't you, in that case, Theron, why don't you give me a wisdom perception check real quick?
It is 21.
21. Excellent. Okay, so you see, as you toss that up, and the shadows are sort of moving around as the light travels from your level up to the ceiling, you see something shift just ever so slightly. You just barely make it out, but it looks like someone or something is hiding behind one of the crates, sort of on the far side of the room.
We're not alone.
Where?
Over there.
Yeah,
I hide behind Annie.
Step forward, looking around.
See, talk to us.
So, what's that?
Oh, I said, see if they'll talk to us.
I hide behind Annie.
Very quickly, they answer that question as four small, short, what look like bipedal ravens or crows. Those of you who are familiar with kenkus, pop up, short bows raised. Let's roll initiative.
Oh.
I guess we know we can't talk to them.
All of my dice hate me. Oh, yes.
All right. Let's go first with Ani.
5.
Oh, good.
Oh, no.
Theron.
21.
Nice. Rocky.
11.
11. Sil.
Also 21.
All right. Who wants to go first? Theron or Rocky? I mean, Theron or Sil?
I go on 10.
You go on 10, Rowan?
Yes.
Okay. And who wants to go first? Rocky? Theron or Sil?
Oh, that's Sil.
Okay. Sil will go. Great.
All right.
All right. So, in this first round, though, Theron was the only one who saw the hidden creatures because they happened to catch them as they threw their lit dagger up. So we do have a surprise round, but Theron, you do get to act in this first round.
Okay, so they're drawing their bows. Do I know anything about...
They're drawing their bows. They're all sort of... that's a good question. Give me an intelligence nature check.
Nature 3.
Oh.
Well, they are alive, and and they seem rather hostile.
Okay. Have we noticed... They got bows. Have we noticed that it was arrows that killed these people?
I will say with your 21 perception from earlier that it looks like some of them probably were, but only like 1 or 2 of the dozen or so corpses.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to duck out from behind my hiding place of Annie, and I'm going to cast Sacred Flame on one of them, going, sorry, round diplomacy's over.
Fantastic. All right, so that one is going to make a dexterity saving throw to get out of the way, and it gets a 7.
All right. So, die 8. That is a 5.
All right. And a burst of holy fire singes down from above and catches, and the kenku sort of opens its beak and lets out a very human-sounding scream of pain. It's very odd to sort of like weird cognitive dissonance watching this raven creature scream with the human voice. All right, it is the Kenku's turn now, and they're all sort of behind these crates, and they are going to fire. Now, Sil opened the door, so I think Sil is probably the one that is most directly in the line of fire. Theron, you just said you moved. Yeah, where did you go to?
I ducked right back in behind Annie.
Okay, great. So 2 of them are going to fire their short bows at Sil. And as they do, it's super weird to watch, but they open their beaks, and as their bows make the sound of an arrow twanging off of the bow, so do they. And it just like is so perfectly overlaid that it just sort of creates this weird echo effect when they fire. All right, so that was a real nice roll, even with advantage. Still, does an 11 hit you? All right, and the second roll is a little bit better. That is an 18 to hit. So 1 arrow comes slamming into you for 6 piercing damage.
6 piercing damage? I'm level 1.
Sorry about it. All right. One of them is going to try and fire at Theron, but Theron, you've got some cover behind Ani there. So that was another crap roll with advantage. They didn't surprise you, actually. That was even worse. That was a natural one. So that one, it's actually sort of funny to watch. It fires its bow, but it sort of like misses the timing. So it makes the twanging sound, but the arrow just falls off of its bow and onto the ground. And poor Theron flinches because he hears the sound, because they hear the sound, but then opens their eyes and realize that the arrow didn't actually fire. The last one is going to try and fire at Ani. Ani, does a 15 hit you?
Yeah.
All right. So that slams into you for 5 piercing damage as well. All right. We hop up to the top of the round again, and everyone can act this time. The surprise is over. Syl, you are up.
Okay. Oh. Ow! Why? And I look at him and I be like, and do I like, I feel like killing Kiri is like a terrible idea.
You can let them shoot you again if you want.
I assume we don't want to do diplomacy then, and I will take one of I'll take one of my darts, and I'll take 2 of my darts, and I'll just throw them.
So Syl has this sort of bandolier that has several of these. They're a little bit bigger than darts. They almost look like small little throwing knives. And she yanks 2 of them off and tosses them. Go ahead and make some attack rolls for me.
Okay. Do I get proficiency on both?
You do.
And I don't get advantage, though.
Correct.
All right. Well, the first one is the 23.
That will hit.
Do you want me to roll damage or the 2
No,
hit?
go ahead and roll the second one and let's see.
17.
17 also hits. All right, so they both hit. So roll 2d4. You only get to add your dexterity bonus on the first one because I don't believe you have the 2-weapon fighting or whatever it's called in this edition.
Okay, well, the first one is for 6, and the second one is for 2.
All right, and are you throwing them both at the same one, and are you throwing them at the same one that Theron just attacked?
I'm throwing it at the one that shot me. Did I see that, or do I just see the one that Theron attacked with the Sacred Flame?
No, you can see all 4 of them. So we'll say that that's the same one, that the one that got... Well, no, I guess the one that got Sacred Flame probably attacked Theron. All right, so you're throwing at a different one then, the one that shot at you?
Yeah, I feel like I would be pissed, and I would just be like...
And it was 6. It was 6 and how much?
So it was a 6 and a 2, so 8 total.
2, so 8. All right. So 2 of these little throwing knives go hurtling end over end and stick in the 2 sort of shoulders of this Kenku, and it opens its mouth and screams out a sort of curse in Orcish that Ani immediately recognizes with this sort of weird gravelly orc accent to it. It's very strange. All right, Theron, you are back up. It is your turn again.
All right, I'm going to toll the dead on the one I've already hit.
On the one that you already hit. All right, that's a wisdom saving throw?
Toll the dead. Yes. Gotta be 14.
Great. Wisdom saving throw. Ooh, that's a natural 20.
Ah! It comes instead of a gong, it's just a little ding.
Exactly. Yeah. That was disappointing. All right. So that was Theron's turn. It is the Kenku's turn again, and they are going to once again lift their bows and fire. So that one that has now been attacked twice by Theron is going to fire the bow again, opening its beak, letting out that twanging sound, but that's only a 10 to hit, so that goes a little wide of Theron. Syl is going to get 2 aimed at her again. Oh my lord, I need to change dice. So that same one, oh no, I guess it's a different one this time. Another one sort of lets out the twang and it just drops off the bow. And the other one shoots way wide. It actually sort of hits near, somehow it manages to hit near where Theron's lit up dagger is in the ceiling. Clearly not so good with the bow. The final one is going to fire at Ani again. Good lord, we are done with you, sir. That's a 9.
This is...
All right, so for just god's awful shots from these Kenku, and they're beginning to maybe look a little nervous as Rocky, your turn is up. Rowan, you're on deck.
Okay.
They're probably looking nervous as I kind of duck down as I'm walking through the doorway, and I kind of spring up. Sil and Annie are getting peppered with these arrows.
They are.
I probably just kind of like bust between them as I charge forward.
Love it.
Towards these guys.
All 4 of the Kenku sort of flinch because they were not ready for you.
Right. So I'll charge in and I'll wail on him.
All right. Which one are you going to? So yeah, go ahead.
I would like to hit the one that hit Annie and the one that hit Sil. I'd like to try and hit both of them if I can.
Okay.
So get that 1-2 punch.
Great. Let's go for the one that attacked Annie first.
That one's gonna miss.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
so that one just swings
9.
by because you're trying to get over to the one that keeps attacking Sil. So that was just sort of a passing swipe as you head over to the other one.
And that one's gonna be a crit.
Hey, yes,
Hey-o.
clearly you were more focused on that one. All right, so go ahead and roll that damage as you just smash right into its beak.
So I'm gonna smash in with 9 points of damage.
Ooh,
after that one hit.
Hear its beak and its skull just crunch as you just lay into it, and it drops to the ground. Well done, Rocky. All right, anything else, Rocky?
Well, as it drops to the ground, I'm just like, you don't hurt them.
All the remaining 3 Kenku now look very nervous and a little bit inclined to listen, although not quite yet. Rowan, what are you doing?
Well, I am going to get a very stern look on my face, and I'm going to raise my finger, and I'm going to say, hey, we just came here to talk, and it was extremely rude of you to just start fighting us, and you should really rethink that next time like someone just tries to be peaceful with you. And I'm going to vicious mockery one of them.
Great. So do you want to go after the one that Theron has now hit, or one of the other 2 that have yet to be damaged?
One that has yet to be damaged.
All right, fantastic. And they need to make a wisdom saving throw with a different die.
Correct.
That I don't think is going to do it. That is a 12.
12 will fail. And 3 points of psychic damage.
All righty. And disadvantage on its next attack, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
So it opens its mouth and lets out like a sort of like sad little like child whimper as your words cut it to the quick.
And then I will turn to Rocky and I will say, and as for you, your mom told me to tell you that she loves you very much. And I will give him inspiration.
Fantastic. I love it. I love your inspiration so much. Oh my God, yes. Bye-bye, Blackbird. I love it. All right. Ani, you are up. Sil, you're on deck.
All right. So as soon as I got hit, I wanted to have been doing this thing where I was like just stomping my foot and like kind of like batting my chest and my thighs and just kind of like getting the beat going. And then I rage.
Yes.
And I charge in there and I whip out my 2 hand axes because that's all I had on me instead of my great sword.
Yeah.
And I just start slashing at the first one that I can.
All right. So we'll say, is this probably the one that was attacking you? Yeah.
Yep.
Great. All right. Go after it.
All right.
I would like to rage.
I would like to rage.
All right.
11 to hit.
11 doesn't quite do it. These little creatures are pretty nimble, so it sort of dodges out of the way of your hand axe. But hand axes are light, and you've got 2 of them, right?
Yep, one the other hand.
You can take it. Yeah, you can do the other hand.
All right.
Swing with the other hand.
Oh, that's 16.
16 will hit. So go ahead and roll the dice. You won't get to add your bonus to it, but we'll still take some damage.
5.
All right. So it dodges out of the way of your first attack, but accidentally sort of steps right into the path of your second swing, and you get a nice gash right down its chest, and it lets out this orcish scream again. This time, no real words, but very clearly like a big creature, much bigger than this little Kenku is. That sound comes out of its beak. Fantastic. That was Ani. We're back up to the top of the round. Sil.
So how many are left?
There are 3 left. 2 of them have been injured.
Okay. And you say they're looking a little scared?
A little bit, although they at this point still look fairly determined.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, would I know I responded out of anger because I got shot.
Sure.
But would I be able to tell whether these were possibly defense mechanisms for the people here or whether they were invaders?
Oh, you can make a wisdom insight check, but let's see what you get. I shouldn't predetermine the outcome.
9.
I'm gonna go with no.
Probably not. No.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I just kind of have a gut that I really don't want to kill these things. That they might be of help. How far away am I to them?
At this point, I would say the closest one to you is probably 20 feet or so, 15, 20 feet.
Okay. I think I might try to use some thaumaturgy for some intimidation to see if I can get this to end quickly and peacefully without anybody dying. May I?
Aaron, you're on deck, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and make my voice boom again.
Okay.
And essentially just go. You've obviously seen that we could just decimate you. Do you honestly want to continue this?
Right. Make a charisma intimidation check. You can have advantage since you used thaumaturgy to enhance your voice.
Ooh, I rolled a 17 and an 18. Intimidation?
Right. Yep.
21.
All right. So they definitely look like their bows sort of lower, and they start sort of like one of them starts making this strange like clacking sound, and you realize that it's like the sound of someone like shaking like with change in their purse, and the other two, one of them starts making a sound like a little cat sort of mewling, and they are clearly quite frightened of the situation at this particular juncture. Theron, you are up.
All right, I am going to teleport between two of them, and as I do so, they become...
Oh, all right, so a little phase step.
A little phase step, but because of the season I have chosen to represent, they have to roll or be charmed.
Okay, great. What, the wisdom saves?
Yes.
All right, so the first one is a 6, and the second one is an 18, so one of them is charmed.
Okay. I'll just simply say, will you stop attacking my friends, please? You frightened us.
Excellent.
And...
Alrighty. So, it is anything else on your turn, Theron?
No, I'm just asking the one that I did manage to charm to stop attacking.
Okay. Great. So, it is their turn. The other two that you did not charm, the one that resisted and the one on the other side of the room, just make a beeline for the window. And one of them just jumps headfirst through the window, crashing, breaking the glass, makes it outside, and just takes off. The other one is trying to sort of climb up, still in the room, but is trying to climb up and get out the window as quickly as he can. The one that you charmed... What's that?
I don't have a reaction, do I? I don't have a reaction.
Because they're not passing close enough to do an attack of opportunity or anything. The one that you charmed, though, sort of looks a little sheepish as a Kenku can look, I suppose, and sort of puts its head down and makes a sort of plaintive, like dog whimper sound, and sort of looks sheepish and puts its bow away.
Does comprehend languages help at all with the Kenku language? I understand it's a little weird.
Yeah, it doesn't actually, just because they are just imitating sounds that they've heard. If one of them imitated a voice that was in a language that you didn't understand, yes, absolutely. But so far, it's just been like noises and mostly common. I guess you did understand the orc curse, but when they've said anything, for the most part, it's been in common.
Okay.
All right. So, does anyone gonna stop the Kenku that's running at the window? Because if so, we will continue in initiative order.
Probably me, unless someone says anything. I'm running after, going, nah!
Yeah. All right, fantastic. In that case, let's hold in the initiative order for a moment, or continue in the initiative order for a moment.
Me?
We suddenly lost you, Eugenio.
That's because I
muted.
hit mute. Yes, you.
Okay, I'm actually going to say, Ani, get the one who went outside, and I'm going to charge after the one that's going to the window. And
Okay.
if I can get close enough, I'm going to try and grapple.
Yeah, absolutely you can. So make me a strength athletics check. And
Absolutely.
It is going to make a... Yep, definitely a dexterity acrobatics check. Well, it got an 11. What'd you get?
I got a 13, so not that much better, but it'll do.
But enough better. Yep, enough better. So you managed to sort of yank it by its little taloned feet off of the window and hold on to it. So its speed is currently 0. All right, Rowan, how about you?
Okay, so where's the last one? The one that isn't charmed?
The last one is outside. It's the one that dove through the window head first and is taking off outside.
I am going to make cast Minor Illusion to surround them in a cage that's just vicious looking, like covered in barbed wire with spikes and all sorts of scary things.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I like it. I'm going to have it make a dexterity saving throw to stop in time. Because I feel like he's sort of like running very quickly.
Yeah.
And he's definitely going to want to try and stop. So let's see if he manages it. Ooh, that is a 19. So yes, it does. He just sort of like puts the brakes on and manages and just sort of clams up and is absolutely horrified at what's going on. All right, Ani, how about you?
All right, take off outside. Is the illusion between me and the Kenku?
Yeah.
It's super scary looking.
So can I be? I'm trying to think. I think nobody said not to kill the Kenku to Annie.
That's true.
I did. I totally did.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Did you?
Well, not them specifically, but like in general.
Ani doesn't deal in generals when she's raging.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Ani doesn't deal in generals, period, much less when she's raging.
So she charges through the illusion and tries to attack the Kenku.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing actually there to stop you.
Yeah.
So go right ahead.
Okay.
Oh.
Just hand axes swinging.
Well, it just well, the first one was only a 9 to hit, so
that's not gonna do it.
Yeah, so let's try with the second one then.
All right.
Oh yeah, that one's an 18.
That'll do. Roll that damage, and you are raging. So I should have said this last time, but you do get to add your rage bonus, just not your strength bonus.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be a 6.
All right, this one's the one. I mean, between jumping through the window and the injuries that it already sustained, you just cleave this one right down the forehead, and it drops.
Yeah.
Oh my God, poor Rowan!
Wait, I'm outside. Is he?
Screenshot now.
Annie just kind of is like, ah! Over the
I'm like
body.
halfway to
I'm just
reaching for the healer's pack and then just kind of giving up.
Yeah, that's yes, correct. Fantastic. All right.
Go back. I got it, Rocky.
I'll drop the illusion.
All right. So we'll drop out of initiative at this point. You have managed to subdue 2 of them and kill 2 of them. So what's the plan now?
I don't know. I need a minute.
I want to take the remnants of the body, the one outside, and get it inside as quick as I can, though.
Okay, that's legit. Yeah.
Where is this arrow in me?
I sort of hit you right in the biceps or right in your arm.
In my arm?
Yeah.
Deadpool is like hole in it.
Right there. Yes.
Right, yeah.
I'm gonna kind of like, is it like a pronged one or is it like? No. So can I pull it out without doing damage, or is it one of those I have to pull through?
No. No. It didn't go that deep. You can just pull it right out.
I'm just gonna go, ow, and just kind of sit down on the floor and go, ow.
Good Lord, y'all.
Yeah. When Rocky hears Syl kind of crying out or whatever in pain, he's going, Are you okay? I'm sorry I let them hurt you.
On a scale of 1 to 9 hit points, I'm about a 3.
All right.
If I see Seal over on the floor, I'm gonna yell at Theron. I'll be like, "Why don't you do something useful and heal her?"
Oh.
I'll get right on that, but first we have a question to ask of our little feathered friend here. Did you kill all these people? Yes or no?
Which one are you asking? The one that's charmed?
The charmed one.
Yeah, okay. So it shakes its head.
Were they dead when you got here?
It nods its head.
I'm going to roll insight on just see its demeanor as much as you can insight a bird person.
Sure.
18.
This one seems to be telling. I mean, it seems nervous, or after everything it witnessed, but it seems to be on the level, at least in terms of what it's talking to you about, or conversing with you about now, miming with you about now, whatever. It's telling the truth.
May I hold your bow, friend?
It sort of shrugs and hands you its bow.
Okay,
Sure.
I take the bow. I sling it over my shoulder. Now I'm safe. And I've got this bird for a minute, so I'm going to walk over and say, well, just so Annie doesn't beat me for not healing you, and I'll give her a touch.
Okay, great.
And that is going to be... Yeah, you're back up to max.
Hey, nice.
Thank you. Whew.
Now I get to braid your hand for that.
He's gonna look at the Tengu that are still alive and say, "I'm so terribly sorry about your friends. If there's any arrangements that can be made for their remains, we'll see what we can do about it. Thank you for cooperating."
Is this the one that is charmed, or the one that is in Rocky's arms at the moment?
Oh, probably both of them, because I don't really understand that one of them is charmed. I just think that he's cooperating with us.
Okay, great. So the one that is in Rocky's arms opens its beak, and in that same orc voice, it says, "Xanathar sends his regards."
Oh, okay. That makes total sense. They're with Xanathar's guild. So they even if they didn't kill these people, then they're probably somehow involved or are happy about it.
They actually from Xanathar's guild, or were they repeating Xanathar's guild saying that when they slaughtered all those people?
Oh, yeah. I guess I didn't think of that. That's possible.
Do I DM, because I hope I don't want to metagame at all? Would Silme know anything about a Kenku? And
you can make it. You can make an intelligence nature check for me.
Thank you. I want to see if my intelligence matches Alex's intelligence.
Okay. Well, you are pretty sure that these are creations of the temple of Denier and not real creatures.
Oh.
You have no idea what they are.
I've been drinking too much. I don't even think
exactly. All right, what are we doing with our two? Are we continuing to question them? What are we asking? What's going on?
Well, I'm going to start searching the bodies.
Okay. So you head over. Go ahead and make me an intelligence investigation check just to see how much you're able to find sort of off the bat. Theron, the one, while Rocky goes over to do that, actually, I'll get to Theron in just a minute. Ani and Rocky, what are you all doing?
When the one said Xanathar sends his regard, I'd like to punch it in the face and say, well, Annie sent hers.
Yep, go ahead. So make an unarmed strike.
And this is the one that I have captured, right?
Correct.
Okay, great.
What'd you get, Ani?
A 10.
So it somehow manages to move its head to the side.
Rocky.
Sort of punch Rocky in the shoulder. It does not, not in the hurt, but you sort of get it a little bit.
It is grappled. Does she have advantage?
She doesn't. Grappled is weird in this edition. It only reduces the speed to 0. You have to be restrained to get advantage on the attack. All right, so you just sort of like buddy punch Rocky in the shoulder is sort of what it looks like. Rocky, what are you doing?
That was entirely uncalled for.
It was
Really good.
It's perfectly called for.
Really good. All right, Theron, the one that you... Oh, I'm sorry, are you doing something else, Rocky?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Theron, the one that you've charmed, sort of when it's Buddy says the thing about the Xanathar, it looks sort of... It perks up a little bit and sort of nods to you and walks over closer to you and says in this sort of horrible, thin, like nasally human voice, it says, "Tie up the pretty boy in the back room."
I don't keep talking about you, darling.
I'm sorry, it cut out. I didn't hear that.
Oh, he says, tie up the pretty boy in the back room.
Yeah, that's pretty notable.
Oh, well, thank you for that information, friend. You're free to go.
And he nods and sort of he holds out his arms for his bow.
I think I want to keep this one. I'm sure you can be provided with another.
Why don't you make me a charisma persuasion check? You can have advantage since he's charmed.
All right, I'll go with the 16.
All right, he'll let you keep it. So he starts to walk away out the door, and he turns around, and in that same voice, he says, "Follow the yellow signs in the sewers." And then he hustles out the door and runs off.
Oh, more sewers. Great, just what I wanted.
So you're left with just the one that Rocky is currently holding. Rocky, why don't you make me another another strength athletics check? Because he's gonna. When Ani tried to punch him, he's like, "I'm not about this life."
All day, every day. 14.
Oh God, you got a 13. You've still got him.
Nope. You're staying with me.
Yep. All right, Rowan, what did you get on your intelligence investigation check?
12.
Great. Okay. So you notice a couple of things. You definitely notice, you spot the first one, that one of the humans that is dead on the ground has that same black snake tattoo on its forearm. And so you start checking all the other corpses, and you find 5 of them that have that same tattoo. The symbol of the Zentarum, the flying snake tattoo. And 6 of the other corpses don't have any sort of marking that you can find. One of them, however, does have a tattoo on the palm of his right hand that is basically a circle with 10 spokes radiating out from it.
Okay.
You also get the idea that for the most part, these folks killed each other. You just see a lot of puncture wounds that sort of line up with the rapiers and daggers that you see lying around.
Okay. Well, I will say it looks like they all murdered each other, and I'll hold up the hand. Does anyone recognize this?
Would I recognize it?
Why don't I have intelligence, water deep knowledge from everybody else? Rowan, you can do it as well.
Okay.
What'd you get, Rowan?
11.
Okay. Sil? 11 from Ani. Sil?
16.
Okay. Rocky?
19.
Okay. And Theron?
6.
Okay.
Jeez.
Rocky, you do recognize it as a more abstract version of the symbol of the Xanathar's Guild.
I'll say still holding this kinku. I think that's what was on the door, more or less.
No, what was on the door was the
Xanathar. Sorry, not Zentarum. My bad.
Yeah.
No. The head tattoo person. Remember with all the really neat eye tattoos on their head? That was so cool.
No, that's right. You're right. I forgot.
Yeah.
I squeeze a little tighter. I'll go back to what I'm good at.
No. That was really insightful. That I did not recognize that at all, but I knew what you were talking about once you started like getting on the subject. I was just trying to help you out.
Well,
Hey, big guy. You know you're amazing. Stop
Yeah,
it.
you're really smart. You need to not be so hard on yourself.
The
oh,
kangaroo
shucks,
that you
you guys.
squeeze tighter starts making like a noise.
Sorry, little guy. And I'll release slightly so I can breathe.
Okay.
By the way, what are we going to do with this guy, huh?
But just let him go.
Do we not have any other questions for him? Like, does he work for where are we? Shoot.
Did they take Floon, or did they intercept Floon?
What was that, Ani?
Did they take Floon, or did they, come in while the other group was taking Floon?
So he opens up his mouth and in like a scratch, or his beak, and in a scratchy voice he says, "No time to loot the place. Just get him to the boss."
Who's the boss?
And in that same orcish voice, wait, I want to make sure I'm doing this right. Yes, in that same orcish voice, it opens its mouth and it says, "Xanathar."
Oh.
So is Floon still here, or was he taken?
We have to follow the yellow signs.
He opens his mouth and says the same thing that the other one said, which is, tie up the pretty boy in the back room.
I think I can put this puzzle together. I see a pattern forming.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking that
this is the worst soundboard ever.
One team took the pretty boy, and that could be Floon or his doppelganger, Neverember. And in another group, the Xanathar or whichever group came in, they fought over the hostage because they both want the same hostage. And one group won and took them to Xanathar, so that means Xanathar's guild must have Floon at this point. Which means we have to go to the sewers.
The Kenku opens its beak and lets out like what sounds like a little bell ringing. Ding, 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 ding.
So he's not in the sewers anymore.
Wait, but they said pretty boy, not pretty boys.
Yes, they have one or the other, which could mean one of them got away? Or they took Floon or Neverember after they parted ways with the other one.
Or is there a back room here? Did they just tie one in the back room here and another one down to the sewers?
So you look around, Ani, as you say that, and you notice on the far back wall, sort of around some boxes, you do see a door to another chamber.
I got this!
It's sort of right. It's like the closet under the stairs. It's like where Harry Potter lives, because it's right under.
Annie, just try to rein it in a little bit. Could you please?
I got it. I run over.
To the other door.
To the
closet
door,
under the stairs. All right, great.
Mm-hmm.
So the door, once you get over there, you can sort of see that the door itself is sort of hanging just by a thread on broken hinges. And you get this, as you sort of step up to the door, you get this incredible whiff of sour fish and vinegar. It is just really sharp smell on the other side. And you look in and you can see discarded ropes and canvas tarps and splintered wood from smashed barrels all over the place.
I'm right behind Ani, by the way.
I'll just yell.
Go right after.
I'll just yell, Neverember! Floon! We're here to save you! Oh my gosh.
Oh, it doesn't smell that bad, darling. God.
Ani, why
don't
you give me a charisma persuasion check?
Okay.
This is gonna be great.
What'd you get?
Yeah, I got a 6.
Okay, Sil, give me a wisdom perception check.
Okay. Oh, my perception's shit. 7.
Okay, cool.
We are
Carry on.
so not. Yep.
Oh,
this is gonna.
Yeah, I'll just go in and start moving things around.
Is it
right,
dark?
so you go in and you start sort of searching and moving things around, and eventually there's just sort of nowhere left for this person to hide, and a human man who the first thing that you notice is that he is just smelly. Like, he smells like fish more than the rest of the room does. He's covered in grime and dirt and gross. He clearly has what used to be fine clothes on, but they're real messed up. I gotta watch my mouth. And he said he sort of finally clearly he's been staying ahead of you as you search the room, but finally there was nowhere left for him to go, so he steps out and he says, all right, how did you know I was here and where are you taking me?
I don't even know who you are, but are you Floon and Neverember? We're supposed to be looking for them.
Oh, hi.
He says, I might be. Who sent you to look for them?
Some guy. I don't, he also looked in. Yeah, I don't know his name, but he's friends with Floon.
Well, that
Honey,
narrows it down,
Volo
doesn't it?
sent us to come look for you. I assume is he Floon? Do I know if he's the pretty boy with red hair?
He does sort of look like maybe underneath all the grime he might be pretty. But he, as you mentioned Volo's name, his eyes sort of light up and he goes, "Oh, so you're really not here to kill me then?"
Well, I don't like pretty faces.
No, we are not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're not, apparently. I just give him a side eye, like, dirty look.
I go over and I help him up. Is he? Wait, no, he's standing. Never mind.
He's standing. Yeah, he's standing. So he nods and he says, "Well, in that case, then yes, I am one of the two that you're apparently searching for. Rainier Neverember at your service."
Oh, well, that's delightful. I mean, not for us getting paid, but like in a general sense.
Yeah, I'm so glad we found a pretty boy, rich and noble. Yay.
He says, "Fair enough, lady. Not as in like lady the title, not lady like lady. That was not helpful. Anyway, he says, fair enough, but I'll have you know that at the very least, I am not like my father.
Mm-hmm.
You can trust me where many cannot be trusted. And I apparently will be trusting you, and must thank you. I assume that you," and he at this point steps out and sees Rocky holding on to the last remaining Kenku and sees the one body of the other one that's left inside that you drag, or the two bodies, because you dragged the other one in, didn't you, Ani? So he sees those two and sort of says, "Took care of the creatures that were keeping watch on me here."
Are these your gods?
He says, "Well, I believe they were searching for me. I managed to escape my bonds, and they were left behind after the fracas." Oh, there it is again. I'm going to try and use that at least once every week.
Excellent word.
Anybody who's playing the Eugenio drinking game, drink for fracas.
That's right, drink for fracas.
The Pee-wee's Playhouse magic word.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Scald.
I'll have the Kinku and I'll kind of say to Theron, like, remind me, did we come to a conclusion on what to do with this guy?
No, and you're still just holding him.
I think we should just let him go. They're just scavengers picking the carrion. And no problem to us. I got a bow.
But I thought you said that they were sent from Xanathar.
No, from what I get, they're repeating words they heard other people say. We found Zentarum and we found Xanathar. They just came in, pick up the pieces. Can I roll medicine to find out how long these people have been dead?
Sure. Yeah, give me a wisdom medicine check.
8. Nothing.
More than an hour, less than a week.
More than an hour. That's a good start.
Have I ever seen Neverember before? Has Tome ever seen Neverember before?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
When you say handsome, describe him to me.
He does look remarkably like what Volo described for Floon, actually. So like reddish hair, very handsome, tall. Fill in the blank. In fact, you tell me what else he looks like.
Me?
Yeah, sure. Give me a feature of Neverember.
A feature of oh shit.
Keanu Reeves in red
or
wig.
chat can tell me something.
Oh.
Chat, help! I had homework and didn't do the reading.
I think just make something up.
Oh no, this wasn't a quiz. This was just I'm allowing you to help with the world building.
What would you like him to look like?
Right.
Well, I'd probably like him to look like my husband, but it's okay.
Oh.
Who is also tall and redheaded. I would think he was tall, athletic, probably.
What color eyes does he have? Okay, no variant rolls. He does not look like 3 raccoons in a trench coat, but thank you for your participation.
Thanks, Crash Cannon. I think he would have chestnut brown eyes.
Oh, fantastic. And so he does.
Ooh, okay. And just a little bit of stubble. Just a little bit.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially after being here for, a while. He definitely does.
But it works,
Yes, Corey, 4 raccoons. You're correct. Amazing. Yeah. So he says, so I take it that you all have not then found dear Floon, since you are here searching for me and him.
And speaking of Floon, I've heard that you two tend to look very similar. Is there anything you'd like to tell us?
He says, well, yes, I believe that was the whole problem in the first place. You see, I was with Floon at a tavern not far from here a few nights back, and I was concerned that he'd had a bit too much to drink, and so I offered to escort him home, and not long after we both left that tavern, we were jumped, we were attacked, knocked unconscious, brought here, and it wasn't long after that Floon was taken away, I know not to where.
Did they take him because they thought he was you?
He says, yes, I believe that perhaps they did. You see, I think that I may have an idea why the Zentarum came after Floon and I in the first place.
Oh?
Well, then pray tell. We're all just dying to hear it, darling.
Yes, I'm sure. He says, well, you see, I believe that the Zentarum thinks that my father embezzled a large amount of gold while he was the open lord here, and to be quite frank, it wouldn't surprise me if it were true. It seems that the the Black Network believes that he hid the dragon somewhere here in the city. Apparently, they think they can find the hoard of gold dragons by using something called the Stone of Galore, which I've heard them mention several times. As far as I can tell, that stone used to be in the hand of the Xanathar's Guild, which might be the reason that there's been such open conflict between the two groups as of late. Apparently, someone stole the stone from the Xanathar's Guild. The Zens thought that I knew something about all of this, but I don't. My father and I have not spoken in years, but I believe that's why they came after me, mistook Floon for myself, brought us both here. The Xanathar's Guild must have also made the same mistake, taken Floon off, thinking he was me, and, well, to be honest, I feel a bit guilty about the whole thing.
Do I believe him?
Been there with him. You can make a wisdom insight check.
Please. Probably.
So 7. I'm going to go with yes, you do believe him.
Totally. I'm just completely enraptured with his.
Yeah, exactly. So about that time, let me. Well, actually, they're not being particularly quiet about it. So you all, at that point in the conversation, hear footsteps approaching the doors from outside. Lots of them, and as you all turn around, you see some humans push through the door. The City Watch has arrived.
Oh, good.
Very clearly led by a lieutenant or a captain or something, someone who very clearly has a bit of presence and command. And they walk in and, hey, Syl, make me an intelligence Waterdeep knowledge check, and you can do this one with advantage. I'll tell you why in a moment.
15.
Yeah, so you recognize this captain, and you're not real thrilled that you recognize them. You've never met this captain, but this is Captain Justus Staggett. He is a fairly well-known captain of the City Watch here in the Dock Ward. He is pretty by the book. He's gruff. He doesn't take any nonsense. He's pretty good at his job for the most part, although lately you haven't seen him around as much as you would have expected with all the escalating violence. But he is definitely not one that you have been subcontracted by. And in fact, you know from his reputation that he's probably someone who would not look kindly upon your subcontracting.
What's his name?
His name is Captain Justus Staggett.
Captain Justus? I'm just going to spell it phonetically. Staggett.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bob Saget,
but with a T, yes. At the T at the beginning. He comes in and it's very clear that he is surprised. There's a lot of corpses in the room, but he collects himself very quickly, sort of snaps, and the 12 other guards that are with him sort of move to surround the room and you all. And he catches sight of, yes, Rowan immediately with the hands up. He catches sight of Rainier, though, and sort of pulls himself up a little bit and says, Lord Neverember, we heard a disturbance in the neighborhood. A disturbance was nope, that's not his voice. That's Neverember's voice. He says, damn it. He says, wait, hold on. He says, Lord Neverember, we heard that there was a report of a disturbance here in this building, so we came to have a look around. But it seems that you are involved somehow. Are you okay, sir? And Neverember sort of nods and informs him. I hate NPCs having conversations with each other, so I'm going to get this. He informs Staggett that you all saved him. And Staggett says, well, it seems that perhaps we should have a bit of a conversation with these adventure do-gooders as they appear to be presenting themselves. Ladies, gentlemen, and he sort of looks at Theron and says, all of you folks, why don't you come with me for a moment? I have a few questions for you. Lord Neverember, you can, one of our men will see to your comfort while I question this party.
Yeah, gladly.
Can I, by chance, slip Neverember like a note that says kind of like, "Come see us when this shit's over"?
He's probably not going anywhere. He's just going to like get a cloak on, and because it's cold outside, so he's just gonna they're gonna provide him with like something to drink and like a cloak or whatever. He's not going anywhere.
All right.
So Staggett sort of rounds the five of you up and he says, well, I think we should probably start with what is the most basic question, which is what in all the gods' names is going on here?
Well, it is an extremely complicated situation, sir. Is it okay if I take this over, everybody? Is that all right?
Oh,
please,
I'm dying
keep it
to
short, Rowan.
I can get
well,
that to be abridged if you can't.
Okay. We were hired to come find somebody, and we followed the trail to a couple of different places, and it led here. And then we, tried to just talk to people, and that didn't work. So we opened up the door, and we were attacked by these. I'm not sure what the appropriate name for them is. These raven crow people, and they were screeching at us, and we were forced to defend ourselves. And after we've either run them off or, unfortunately, a few of them, it seems, aren't going to make it through the situation. But then we found this door, and we found the noble who was hiding on the other side. I think his name is Rainier Neverember, and that brings us to here. So very chaotic. We didn't kill anyone who wasn't these again crow people. I don't know.
He says they are called Kenku.
Kenku.
And he says, well, that was quite the story, sir. He says, and who was it exactly that hired the five of you?
Oh, Volo.
And he just sort of like rubs his temple and he says, yes, of course, it was Master Gedar. He says, all right, well, did you see anyone else? Do you have any other information about what may have happened here?
He might.
Oh, I thought you let him go. No, was he still here there? Okay.
They're advised to, but I never actually did.
Oh, right. All right. Make one more. So we're going to go back just a little bit. Make one more strength athletics check.
Sure.
For heaven's sake. He got an 11.
I got a 10.
Okay. So after he said that last little bit, he actually got free and ran off. So he's gone.
I had I think I can translate what was told by the Kenku that another missing party is been taken by the Xanathar Guild, and we were actually going to continue looking for them. It's going to take us into the sewers, but we're supposed to look for yellow signs, is all that I really understood of it.
He sort of thinks about that for a second, and he says, there is another missing person, then?
Yes.
And he is in the sewers, you say?
Probably.
That's
How
what the
do you know
Kenku
this?
said. The Kenku mimics some phrases said by the probably one of these folk laying on the ground dead here.
Oh, and I'll like hold up their tattoos. See, tattoos.
He sees that and looks a little surprised and waves over one of the other city watch and sort of whispers to him for a moment. And a few of the watch go over and start sort of examining the various bodies and like picking up weapons and sort of doing that part of the investigation, whatever it is. And he looks back to you all and he says, well, I cannot stop you as you have not really broken any laws. But I would remind you that it is best to not meddle in criminal matters. Leave this dirty business to the city watch wherever you can.
Oh, of course.
As far as I'm concerned, we were just helping out a friend.
A friend who was going to pay.
He says, I understand, and he reaches into his pouch and pulls out a little folded sheet of paper that he hands to Theron and says, just remember where the lines are here in Waterdeep. And you unfold this little paper, and it's a copy of the Code Legal, which I think I have shown all of you, but it's a sort of summary of the various laws of Waterdeep. And not that he necessarily thought that you all didn't know them, but it's a reminder.
I'll just whisper over to Ani. More like guidelines than actual rules.
True
I know if he heard you. He didn't. So he says, well, I suppose if there is nothing else that you can tell us, that we have no reason to keep you here. If you insist, I will not be sending a force down into the sewers to search for someone who might very well be connected with the criminal underbelly of this city. Best that they take care of each other. But if you insist on going down there, just do me and yourselves a favor and keep the blood off the streets, okay?
That's very fair.
Sil, you've heard City Watch in the dock ward in particular say that before. Keep the blood off the streets, sort of meaning like the watch doesn't really care what happened. Like they know stuff goes down. Oh, I can say shit. Shit goes down in the sewers, and as long as it doesn't spill over into the streets, like it has been of late, they don't really care.
As long as there's essentially no black mark on their name, they don't really care what happens.
Right. As long as it's underground, like whatever. But it's also a reminder that like if it spills up above ground, he'll come after you. Like he's gonna keep this ward. He's gonna do his job here in the dock ward.
He'd have to find me first.
Fair enough.
Did he say that he's not going to send a force to the sewers?
No, he has no interest in sending.
Well, then how are we going to find this person?
Oh, we're going to look.
I believe that's a conversation we should probably have another time, darling, if you get my drift.
I don't understand, though, because he says that he's not going to get involved, but we're not supposed to get involved, and he wants to keep blood off of the streets, but how would that happen if he's in the sewers?
All you need to know, Rocky, is he said he can't stop us.
Right. Captain Staggett sort of nods to all of you and says, I will let you explain it to him. I'm going to check on Lord Neverember.
So we'll take another short rest and we'll explain that.
Yeah.
Are they leaving at the moment and just leaving us behind, or what's going on?
Basically, they are going to continue on investigating what's going on in this warehouse a little bit, seeing if they can collect any evidence, whatever. They seem to be. Neverember is now sort of wrapped up in a clean cloak, has something to drink with him, and he heads over to you guys when
shock
he sees
blanket.
Saget. Yeah, when he sees that Captain Saget is done with you all, he sort of nods to him as they pass, very formally. And he comes up to you two or to you five rather, and says, once again, I really must give you my thanks. I'm not really sure what would have ended up happening. I must say, though, I do, as I said, feel rather guilty about Floon. I know it's a lot to ask, but if you all would continue your search for him, I would be very grateful.
Oh, yeah, of course. I was certainly intending to.
Excellent.
Any size.
So we are supposed to?
Yeah.
Want to go have a little fun in the sewers?
Yeah, we're gonna go down in the sewers. We're gonna find them and we're gonna save them, and we might meet Xanathar, which would be kind of neat.
It's been warmer down there than it is up here.
That's one word.
Yeah, let's go find another pretty boy. Yeah.
Well, you
Just
know
putting
me.
all that
I'm
makes
always
sense.
ready to find another pretty person.
Neverember sort of nods and says,
You don't know what you're
again,
getting into there, Sil.
I know it's a lot to ask, but I do really appreciate your help with this matter.
Yeah, of course.
I'll kind of just look at him and wink and be like, anytime, darling.
He nods and says, well, I'll leave you to it and hope that you're able to succeed and find poor Floon. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Have we been taken
I guess it's time to go into the sewers.
Have we been taken out of the building, or are we?
So the guard has not pushed you out, but they keep sort of throwing glances at you as they go about their investigation. So clearly they're sort of ready for you to leave.
I'm just looking for a dagger. I've lost mine in the ceiling.
Oh, you could absolutely grab a dagger from the grounds. That's easy.
And into my sleeve it goes.
Can I just take one more walk around the room and just see if I spot anything? Just like a nice little stroll, just like
Turn about the room.
Roll percentile for me, Sil.
Which one's that?
It's 2d10s. Pick one to be your 10s digit and one to be your 1s digit.
Oh shit. What's up, these?
I can't.
The weird
say
like
those.
pot or the
Oh yes,
little
those are the correct dice. Yes.
2d10s.
Yep.
A 3 and a 7.
Okay, so 37. All right. So as you sort of walk around, one of the watch comes up to you and says, sort of stops you, and now they are sort of ushering you out because before you were sort of not impinging on their investigation, but now it's time to shoo you guys out.
What? I'm just stretching my legs.
There's nothing else to do here.
He does actually. This is watch person is a woman, and she just sort of smiles and nods at you as she continues to push you all out.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Let's look for yellow signs. Everybody, maybe we could even split up.
So ready.
Would have to be close by. Maybe there's got to be a sewer grate somewhere around here. I doubt they would have taken them.
Let's just look around.
All willy-nilly into another place. They probably would have taken the quickest route to the sewers. So we need to find some place in the immediate area with access. And would my urchin
probably was
ability
next
come
to
in handy?
somewhere in the building.
You all step out and just sort of search around, and pretty close to the building. It was not a hidden thing or anything. You do manage to find a circular entrance into the sewers, sort of in a back alley. It's metal cover inset into the pavement, pretty easily lifted. You folks have strong folks with you, so that's not an issue. So you find an entrance to the sewers near to this warehouse.
Are we doing this?
Yeah, let's just go.
Someone needs to tell me if we're supposed to go down here or not.
Yeah, we're supposed to go down. We're allowed to.
I will go over to Rocky and I will just grasp big hands and I'll just kind of hold him and be like, all right, Lovey. So essentially what that asshole captain was talking about was that he does not care what we do as long as it's not in public. And he was just using fancy howdy-to-do words that mean absolutely nothing.
Well, it seems like he should either want us to do it or not. The guard, right?
People like him don't care about people like us.
So
as we do it discreetly.
Okay. I think I get it. I get it. It's one of those, we gotta do something kind of bad to do something kind of good things, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I can get behind that. There's some balance in that. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's go keep the balance, Lovey.
Excellent. I love it. So we heading down?
Thanks, Sil.
Indeed.
Really good.
Yep, going down.
I just pull his hair a little bit.
I don't have hair.
All right.
No, Rowan. Rowan.
All right, so you all head down into the sewer. It is dark, so those of you without dark vision will need some sort of light source. It's pitch black down here.
Dagger flashlight.
Yay.
Dagger
Thank you.
flashlight. I love it. Great.
Little warning next
It
time.
also smells because, well, it's the sewer. So you all climb down a ladder and sort of splash down into this horrible putrid stream flowing along the sewer tunnel. The tunnel itself leads in two directions, but immediately as you're down there, you notice in one direction a tiny symbol drawn in yellow chalk on one of the walls, and it is that same symbol that you saw on the guy's palm upstairs in the warehouse, the circle with 10 equidistant spokes radiating out from it.
Do I see any thieves' cant or anything like that?
You don't notice anything other than that symbol, no.
Is it like pointing or is it just there?
It's just there, but it seems to be pretty clearly indicating like one direction of the tunnel over the other.
Got it. Okay.
This is going great so far.
Rowan, I know you don't like being lifted and manhandled, but we don't want this putrid water getting over your waistline. Do you need someone to carry you?
Yeah, I guess that's pretty reasonable. Maybe my little brother can?
Absolutely. And I'll kind of reach down with the shoulder.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
I love
I very much appreciate this.
Aww.
You're going to have to watch your head. I know I do.
Yeah, so you definitely do as well.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be an entirely new sensation for me. Oh, okay.
I love it. I love it.
Theron is
Right, so you all
girding.
head down.
Up here. It's great.
Sorry. Theron's girding their loins to keep their
No.
robes out of the water.
Yes, absolutely.
The skinniest
Absolutely
chicken
there.
legs.
I think Annie and I just go trudging through, not really caring.
I assumed as much. Yes.
Yep.
All right. So it's gross. It's smelly. You all trudge. You go down, and every now and again you do come to a fork or places where there are multiple directions in which you can go. And at every one, you're always able to locate one of those little yellow symbols. So in terms of, direction, assuming that that's correct information, you all continue following the yellow symbols and always find one at every intersection. But you go and you go and you go, and it's probably over an hour of walking that you guys are going down. Now, who is in the front of this little lineup? Because for the most part, the sewers are only really wide enough for you all to go single file.
You with the flashlight?
Makes sense. All right, so Theron's in the front. So Theron, go ahead and give me a wisdom perception check, if you would.
That is 19.
Oh, very nice. All right, give me one second. Oh, yes. All right, so definitely. So after about an hour of following all these signs through the tunnels, you come to a three-way intersection. There is a ladder in one area that leads up into a stone shaft that is sort of capped by a circular metal cover. It looks like another exit out of the sewers, much like the one that you came down. One of the other intersections has that familiar chalk symbol marked on it. And floating sort of near that symbol, that tunnel that's marked in the shadows, pretty well hidden, but you do manage to spot it, is this strange spherical grapefruit-sized creature that's got a big bulging central eye and four little stumpy eyes at the coming out of it. And the four eye stalks sort of all seem to be swiveling, but that central eye seems to be pointed right at you, but it hasn't really moved or done anything yet.
Rowan, do we want to talk to the floating grapefruit? Is this a negotiation? In the corner.
What are you talking about?
Rowan, you can go ahead and make me a wisdom perception check as well. Now that Theron pointed it out. 3, you don't see any floating grapefruit.
Hypothetically, if we were to run into a floating grapefruit, would you want us to parley?
Well, I'm not sure we would talk to a floating grapefruit, but maybe we can capture it and sell it as a curiosity. Or maybe just as a wonderful source of food for people who don't quite have enough.
It's looking at me. It's making me feel very uncomfortable. I'm going to be ready to defend.
Theron, you start hearing a sort of sound start to come from the floating grapefruit, and it sort of like, it almost sounds like, well, kind of like a puppy growling, actually, because it's little, but you just hear a sort of little...
Excuse me, Mr. Floating Grapefruit? Or Mrs., or... I'm sorry,
If it moves,
Are
I'm
you
going to
okay?
flame it.
Fantastic. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and roll initiative. Theron, you will get that attack off. But let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh, God.
Fantastic.
Seriously, at level 1?
Theron, what'd you get?
I think I get another 21. Yeah.
Excellent. Syl.
Same.
Okay.
The 21 kids.
Should we flip it? Theron will go first this time since you've got that spell readied.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fair.
I'll go with the Sacred Flame again. DC
Rocky?
14.
Yep. Let me get everybody's initiative. Rocky.
22.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Rowan.
Shoot.
23.
Holy.
Wow. Did you roll a natural 20?
I got
did.
a room here. Ani,
14.
thank you for a normal number.
It's you and me, little buddy.
All right. So
Steven, stream high five.
Theron sort of surprises all of you. They were just talking about a grapefruit and then Sacred Flame. That is a 14 to save.
Yes.
Does a 14 save, Theron? It does. Okay. So it sort of, this flying grapefruit zigzags out of the way, comes out into the open, so you can all see it now. And that is what happens as Theron calls down Holy Fire, but it misses. We're going to have the floating grapefruit, which is absolutely now what I'm calling it, forever, go. And it is going to swivel its eye stalks to look at you all. And let's see what it does. It's going to fire one ray from one of its eye stalks at Theron. Let's see what it fires. Theron, make me a wisdom saving throw, per favore. Oh.
Oh, no!
Oh. Fantastic. So now that this floating grapefruit is out in the open, it is just the most darling thing you've ever seen. It is so charming. So you are charmed by it. Also, while you are charmed,
I'm an elf.
halved, and you have disadvantage on attack rolls.
I'm an
You can't
elf.
be charmed. Cool.
I can't. I
So
get advantage
no
on
effect.
charm. Don't I get advantage on that? I think that's how it works.
You do. You're right. You're right. You do get advantage. Yes.
All right. The next one is a 17 on the dice.
Yes. Okay. So in that case, you feel for a brief moment like it's the cutest thing you've ever seen, and then you're like, no, it's absolutely not. It's really horrifying. Let's see who else is going to get the. Oh, you're actually going to get the other ray as well, Theron. And that. Go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw this time, as it seems as it lets out a little bark, little puppy bark at you.
That's a 12.
As a 12 is just enough. This blue blast fires right at you, and you just manage to sidestep it. And you look behind you where it hit the wall behind you, and there's a little layer of rime and ice there on the back, as if the wall were frozen where the beam hit. All right. We're going to hop back to the top of the initiative. Rowan, you are up.
Okay, so I'm a little tall at the moment, so I'm going to hop down off of my little brother, and then I'm going to create a minor illusion of just like an extension of the sewer wall to cover us and provide like some maybe defense against whatever it is that it's doing to us.
Great. Okay, so it pops up and immediately, like, the things... I guess you can't see through it yet either, because none of you have interacted with it. Cool. So immediately you can hear on the other side of the wall, though, you hear the creature go... like a confused puppy. Alrighty. Anything else, Rowan?
No, I think that'll be it for me.
Fantastic. Rocky, a wall has popped up in between you and the grapefruit.
Okay. Have I seen you do this before, Rowan?
Yeah, it's a pretty small space, so yeah, it's probably an illusion. I can't just like make magic walls and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we haven't interacted with it. We can't see the grapefruit. You said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until you physically interact with it or take an action to make an intelligence investigation check against Rowan's save DC.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. Is there anything quickly in the area that I can grab for like a club, a pipe, something?
Yeah, absolutely. So you reach down and like you grab something that sort of squishes in your hand first, which is super gross. But then you manage to find like it's a little like wooden like it's like a chair leg or something that's broken off. So it'll be an improvised weapon, so you can use it with a D4 damage, but you can absolutely use it.
Okay. All right. Since it's only D4 or whatever, improvised. I don't think this will work, and I'll throw it aside, and then I'll just charge right through the wall where I think that the grapefruit is.
Bless. So you just run headlong at this wall, which is a little horrifying to watch, but pass right through it, and there is the grapefruit. So go ahead and make the attack roll.
All right. That is a 23 on the first hit.
Yes, that will do nicely.
And a 17 on the second.
Those will both do.
Right. Okay, they hit for 10 damage total.
Okay, so this thing just lets out a little howl as it sort of floats higher up in the tunnel, which is not very high, but it does float a little higher up in the tunnel, trying to get away from you. Not truly out of your reach because you're that tall. But
so where is he at? Like what, chest, shoulder level? What?
He must be hunched over.
Yeah.
All right, Theron, you are up. Still, you're on deck.
Okay, so can't see it, right? Because the wall's still in place?
Correct. It is still on the other side of the wall. Yep. Although you did see Rocky just run headlong through the wall.
Okay, so I'm going to... how can I hit Rocky? Knowing that it's probably an illusion, can I see... Does it become kind of translucent to me? Can I see the grapefruit?
So you have to physically interact with it in order for you to be able to see through the illusion.
Okay, I'm going to move through the illusion and cast my Sacred Flame. So
okay,
it's a
no
DC 14.
problem, because we watched Rocky do it. All right. That is a 10. So this time it's so surprised by you walking through this wall that it just doesn't move as this holy fire lances down and does...
6
damage. So this thing just lets out one last pitiful little... and collapses, like it sort of deflates and collapses down into the muck of the sewer.
And I say to Rocky, I think we just murdered someone's puppy.
Did we get blood on the streets?
No, but I really hope an expert assassin doesn't come after us, killing us one by one.
Can somebody get it? I really want to check it out.
I'm not reading into
I'll
that.
go over with my scimitar. Can I? Can I go over and like drop the scimitar and like pick it up?
Yeah, I got no problem picking it up. Whatever, whoever wants to.
Yeah, you could pick it up by one of the eye stalks. It's sort of deflated and sad looking, but it's there.
Well, I just want to check it out. I'll kind of poke it and look at from various angles and stuff.
Sure. So as you go over to poke, go ahead and give me an intelligence investigation check.
14.
So you notice that there's sort of an odd little design on sort of the back of it, I guess you could, like, not where the eye is, right, where the big central eye is. And so you sort of turn it over to give it a closer look. And as you do, the same thing that happened with that troll in the yawning portal happens with this grapefruit. It begins to flicker and glitch, and all of a sudden there's just nothing there in your hand.
Whoa! What? What? Why? Just happened.
Well, you just see that
Did
every
anyone
day.
see that?
Did we just kill somebody who's familiar?
Huh?
Can I just look around? Because I saw it disappear, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was on my sword. Can I look around and see, like, if there's anybody else nearby?
Sure. Give me a wisdom perception check.
Oh, I'm so good at these.
I'm going to assume it's an illusion and just start poking the ground where it was.
So you sort of like poke down at the gross sewer water and like you poke at something that you think might be it and you pick it up, but it's just like this bloated, decomposing rat corpse.
Let's see. We've
Still
been,
got a 4. So
We've been-
no, you are completely alone down here.
All right.
we've been walking.
Perception sucks for a rogue.
We've been walking all this time, and this is the first time we found any sign of life. And maybe this eyeball grapefruit puppy was a guard dog? Guarding something in this particular location? But let's find out. Maybe we can find something on the walls. I'm not digging my hands in that. Rocky can handle that. He seems to be okay with the junk. I'm going to start.
All right.
So
What is it that you want me to do, Karen? Sorry, we're
Got
talking about
robot still again.
Yeah.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Happens from
What did
time
you want
to
me-
time with Alex's Zoom, and we decided that the next campaign we run has to be an Eberron so that she can just play Warforged, and we'll pretend it's on purpose.
Oh yeah.
Right. Anyway, what are we doing now?
I'm searching.
We're looking around. We're searching for any secret stuff that might have been around this thing was guarding.
I'll
That was an
take,
excellent suggestion.
I'll take wisdom perception checks.
Sure.
Natural 20.
Cool.
19.
Excellent. I love everything about it. All right, so I keep dropping dice. All right, so you look around, and this looks, I mean, but for the ladder leading up out of the sewer, this looks otherwise like a fairly unremarkable intersection here. I mean, the one path is, again, clearly marked, so if you were just following, you know, if it hadn't been for the grapefruit, and you all were just continuing to follow the markings, you would know which way to go, but beyond that, there doesn't seem to be anything remarkable about this intersection.
Okay, then shall we go up?
Yes, or yeah, I think that's
The symbol is not pointing towards
Oh.
the ladder up. It's continuing deeper on. You can still, you can go up. You're more than welcome to, but that's not where the symbol is leading you.
Oh, okay.
Do we want to see where we are in the city by taking a peek?
seems reasonable.
How
Okay.
How high up does it?
Well, feel free to go and head on up there. How's everybody's shoes holding up? Are you okay? We've been walking for a while.
I wear sandals.
Are they some leakage into them, maybe?
Rocky looks down and sort of lifts his feet out of the muck, and then you all realize that he hasn't been wearing shoes this whole time.
Oh no!
Theron pulls up their feet and it's open-toe sandals
What?
even in the cold.
Oh God.
I'm gonna have to fix that when we get back home.
You know I don't like them, Rowan. Not even the ones that you have my mom make.
There has to be something that we can do about this, but not now. Obviously not. How's everyone else doing?
I mean, I'm a little smellier than I started.
Okay.
Am I still robotic?
No, you're great.
Okay.
Okay, so do we want to check what's up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just have a glance.
Are we trying to be stealthy? I'll ask everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sure.
I'll step away from the ladder.
Yeah, but Rocky, like either you or me are probably the ones that need to lift it up because that
Yeah,
don't.
I can't move that thing.
I bet you could if you tried, little buddy.
I don't think so. that's
We'll work
that's
on
just
that.
Just an inappropriate expectation. That's just setting me up for failure.
Just needs more push-ups. And he'll
No.
go over. And I guess Rocky will kind of lift up the manhole cover and peek up.
All right, so you head up there, and if you're trying to be sneaky about it, go ahead and give me a dexterity stealth check.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of hopes, but I'll try.
Yeah, go for it.
And expectation is meeting. Oh, 8. Not too bad, but not great.
It creaks, but it's, you open it and you see that you sort of didn't need to worry too much. It looks like you're in some sort of establishment cellar. You open it up and you see sort of crates and barrels and boxes that all very clearly have like provisions in them. So you get the sense that you're probably in the cellar of either a tavern or an inn or a restaurant of some sort.
Okay, I'll report back my findings.
Okay.
We're underneath the crate and barrel. I'm sorry. Move on.
Oh, yeah. No, that is good and valuable information. And
that's absolutely what we're calling that establishment. So hold on a second while I pull up my notes.
Cookware. I want a good pot and pan.
Mm-hmm. It's now called Crate and Barrel. Brilliant. Okay, carry on.
And Rocky will mutter to himself that he doesn't understand how anyone can keep inventory in this place if they just have open doors to their storerooms.
Well,
yeah, so the door was definitely like set in a corner and sort of out of the way, but yeah.
Maybe it's a feature, not a flaw. Maybe they just use the sewer for smuggling, and so that's why they have the storeroom there.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty smart then.
Oh yeah.
Do you do that?
Sometimes. I mean, not like all the time. We've got a completely different system set up, but it's definitely not bad. Anyway, we should be moving on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're pretty smart then. And we'll keep wandering off.
Hey, big brother, do you want to be on my shoulders this time?
Sure. Thank you for asking.
Maybe we won't knock our head a little bit.
Yeah.
Just watch the horns, darling. Watch the horns.
Is it okay if I use them to stay stable? I don't want to.
As long as you don't use them to steer.
Okay. Completely fair.
All right. So you all head down the marked tunnel. Yes. Fantastic. All right. You travel again down. This one doesn't branch for quite some time. You walk about 5 minutes down this tunnel, and you finally get the sense that perhaps you are getting somewhere because the walls of the sewers seem to become a little more cleaner, to be honest, which is a relative term. Let's be very clear. They're not clean. But relatively speaking, it looks like perhaps this way is often passed through. And you slog through, and eventually you reach a sort of area where the main sewer tunnel expands into sort of a circular hub. And you notice in this hub, and this is sort of your first concrete proof that you probably have reached somewhere important, you notice that there are a pair of arrow slits carved into the outer walls of this circular hub directly across from each other. Two passages continue on to the north and the south, and there's a stone door set into the back wall of a stone ledge over to the west. You do not notice any of those passageways being marked with that little yellow symbol.
Okay. So are we to assume that these holes in the walls are like going to shoot at us?
We should at least be quiet.
I mean, you all have been around enough to at least like recognize what they're meant to be. Whether or not they're manned or not, you don't know. But you folks definitely can identify what they're designed to be. Yeah.
Huh. Well, I can cover one of them up if we want, but just one.
Well, let's just test it. Can I like throw like what do I have in my pack? I probably have like a ration or something. Like, can I just or like a pebble? Can I pick up some shit and just throw it?
Oh.
You should at least keep our voices down.
I just want to see if I throw anything past where that is, whether it's going to set something off.
All right, what are you throwing? Are you throwing a piece of like soft, slimy shit, or are you trying to throw something a little more substantial? I can't believe I just said the sentence. It's fine.
I'm putting that on a shirt.
Oh god.
I would like to throw something a little bit more substantial, and no,
Okay.
I'm not throwing Rowan.
Oh well, I will pull out a pan, like a cooking pan, out of my bag, and I will hand it to you.
Amazing.
No. I have an idea that might be a bit more quiet. I have a little pet.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah, 'cause
really
that
thinking
would
the
not be
cat
quiet.
idea.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. Wasn't thinking.
I reach into my hood. I pull out a little mouse. This is Roadkill.
Oh, right. I forgot about him. Him
I-
or her? I don't remember. Forgot about that mouse.
I haven't looked. So I take the mouse.
For the best.
Perhaps if we just threw a little niblet of something to get them to fetch, and they would just wander down and see if it triggers anything. As much as I like him, he's small enough that he might not trigger anything.
Okay.
But what if it does and he gets hurt?
Aww.
He's only
concerned about the mouse.
he's itty bitty. He might be hard to hit, and wouldn't get 3 arrow slits with potential people watching us behind them. Now we have to keep our voices down.
Okay.
Rowan?
Okay,
We have to
Rocky,
keep
I
our
think
voices
that is a
down.
very valid concern. Sorry. I think that's a very valid concern. So I would like to, I'll do my best to protect him. Like I'll cover him up and make him hidden in case they do start trying to shoot at him, and we can get him back.
Okay.
Is Rowan still on my shoulders? Or is this trying to lean over so you can?
Yeah, no, totally.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely still up there.
So what is it you're expecting to happen?
I don't know. They'll shoot at it.
Before we send out the little mouse around, Rocky's gonna position himself to cover up at least like half of the arrow slits if he has to. Like he can move really quickly.
Sure.
Mhm.
Okay. And then Rowan, what are you doing to Roadkill?
Well, I'm gonna hold an action if I can. If I can't, and we'll just wait until it goes into that combat.
Sure.
But then to cover him with an illusion so that they can't shoot at him.
Got it. And Theron, you are sending Roadkill where?
I'm gonna fling Jerky down the hall.
Fling Jerky down the hall. Oh, I see. So that Roadkill goes down towards it. Okay, great. So you do, and it sort of plops quietly on the far end.
And I'm listening.
Roadkill sort of scurries. And great. So give me a perception check, if you would. Wisdom perception check.
12 plus 2, 14.
Okay. So Roadkill scurries over, grabs the jerky, comes back to you. Nothing flies out of the slits. Nothing. You don't hear anything other than the very, very soft sounds of Roadkill sort of moving about, but they're barely recognizable as, the sewer is still running. It's sludgy and horrible, but like there's a little bit of noise, ambient noise in the area. So
Just a question. If I wanted to check for traps, would I be at disadvantage because there's a person sitting on me?
No, I probably help.
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 it would depend on where you're checking. But yeah, where do you? I mean, is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I guess I would like to check for traps. I mean, I see that there's something going on, and I just want to make sure that it's safe before we just get pummeled with possibly something.
I would like to assist. Help.
All right. Let's go this time with a wisdom perception check. You can have advantage. Rowan can be helpful with this.
Well, it can't be investigation.
Where are you investigating? I'm going to need you to be more specific if you want to use investigation.
I'll just take the perception.
Okay.
Because I don't know where I'm looking. I just
Okay. Yeah, that's the idea.
I'll go with the
She
first
done
one.
got.
The first one is a 12.
Okay. That was with advantage.
Yeah, I have a 0 to perception, which is why I hate using it.
Okay, you don't notice anything from what you can tell. Like this, I mean, there are arrow slits here that are, at least at some point were designed to guard the area. Nothing seems to have come from them at this point, and the rest of it is still like sludgy sewer or whatever. So you're probably safe from traps in this particular instance.
Looks good to me.
Well, I'd say we're in the clear. Let's just go.
Still be very quiet. Hush, like a mouse.
Yeah.
I'll put
Just in
Roadkill back on my
case, let me
Yes.
walk forward first. Just in case anything pops out. Well, that
And DM, can I just have my hand on the back of his shirt and just hold it there just in case anything happens? I can grab him and clutch him into my chest and protect him if I need to.
Drop him in the
Sure.
Duke.
That's all right. If it happens, it happens.
So,
Yes, the chat has just pointed out that I really have to watch myself, and I should have consulted with Stephen about this whole area before we began tonight's adventure, but that was my mistake. Stephen being the resident sewer expert.
Yes, I am in fact a sewer engineer, so I know a thing or two about the situation out of character.
Right.
so many puns.
All right, so you all are passing through. You're trying to be quiet. Are we correct? Am I correct in thinking that? So let me go ahead and have...
I'll take point, probably.
Great.
Yeah.
Let me have dexterity stealth checks from everyone except for Rowan, who, like, you're being carried. So unless you're going to be loud about, like, unless you're going to make loud sounds, like, I don't really need a check from you.
Nice.
Can I have advantage because I'm two people?
If anything, I'm going to give you disadvantage, which I'm not going to do. So.
All right.
I help again.
Rocky's got a 15.
Wait, hold on. So who was taking point? Rocky, right?
Yeah, Rocky's got a 15.
Okay, 15. Ani.
4.
Theron.
Well, with my nimble grace of an elf, I got a 22, and I'm just prancing upon the poo. River of Poo Dance.
Poo might be the name of this episode. Sil, how about you?
I got a lucky 13.
All right. So Ani is not quiet, but again, you folks are now prepared for this because Rowan wasn't quiet when you all were doing recon. So again, a group check, you're able to sort of like muffle Ani's sloshing through the sewer as best you can. And with a group check, you all are being relatively quiet. All right, so which way are you heading now? There are passageways, there are sewer passages to the north and south, and then there's that stone door set into the back wall of the stone ledge to the west.
Well, I'd like to check out that door. I think that's the most significant thing here.
Are you going to tell me that since you're astride your noble?
Yeah, I probably whisper, hey, we should check out the door. Look at it. It's just so significant.
Okay. Do you want me to do it or one of you guys?
Yeah, Rocky is taking point here, so.
Rocky, did you want to look at that door? Do you want me to have a closer look at it?
I don't mind, but I don't know what I'm doing, really.
Well, darling, you're just making sure that all of us go where we're supposed to go.
Are we supposed to go there?
We might.
As long as we go quietly.
Then I guess let's go.
Okay.
See, you totally know what we're doing. You're
Yeah, so-
being too hard on yourself.
Me with my halfling backpack would like to go
Really
over.
good. All right, go ahead and make me. You're checking the door for what?
I'm checking for traps.
There it is. All right, great. Now you can make me an intelligence investigation check.
I'll help.
Is he gonna help me?
Yes.
Yes. You're going on my back all the time. Investigation. Ooh. No, 19.
All right. The door does not appear to be trapped, nor does it appear to be locked.
Whoop, whoop. I will like to. I was like, well, big brother, the door is unlocked, and I think it's safe. Shall we open it?
Sure.
Do we want to do that illusion over the door thing again? I don't know. This one might be too big.
This one actually opens. This one actually opens in. You can see.
Oh yeah, then that's not even going to work at all.
I don't think we need to do it down here, darling. We're not exactly in public. I mean, we're standing in shit.
Oh, I know, but there might be like people getting ready to shoot us or something on the other side. I don't know. It happened earlier tonight.
Well, how about I very stealthily open the door?
Give me a dexterity stealth check.
So you got hurt last time you did this.
Yep, we're gonna figure it out.
Annie stands up a little closer to Syl, ready to pull her out of the way in case anything happens.
Great.
18.
All right. So very quietly, you're able to inch this door open, and you see that it leads into just sort of a little 5-foot hallway that twists and turns a little bit. You sort of poke your head in and look around, and you can see another arrow slit that sort of looks like it probably leads into the same room as the one in the circular chamber, is also facing this little hallway that you've opened a door into.
Maybe their numbers are just really depleted. because of all the dying.
Make me Syl and Rocky both of Syl and Rowan. Make me wisdom perception checks here, please.
3.
Okay.
11. That's a number.
It is a number. Okay. You notice anything else?
Damn it. I poke it out my eyes later.
That was actually your ears that I was checking. I shouldn't have said that. Carry on.
I will keep my language.
I feel like we just failed a check.
I feel like we just missed a very important.
Yeah, right. Go on. What y'all doing?
I think we're just heading further in. Rocky, if you would like to take the lead, feel free.
I feel like I was just going to ask everybody to back away from the door and just stand to the side of the door and use like my foot to like kick it all the way open.
To like kick it?
Are we still trying to be stealthy at this point? Or
so far, you've all been quite quiet, so I don't know. But...
I think there's no reason to blow our cover quite yet. We can just continue moving forward as quietly as we can.
Okay. Well, I'm at the door, so.
So wait,
Rocky?
Is this a second door that I missed somehow, or are we still at the first door?
It's just the first door.
Incredibly, still at the first door.
No. Rocky,
doors.
All right. Annie, you want to come with?
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Quietly.
So we'll move towards the front. And I guess I'll check. I'll enter into the room and move forward
so
through it.
You also see the little arrow slit in this room. Rocky, why don't you? And you're all going to pass through here. So why don't the rest of you who haven't done this yet make me a wisdom perception check?
Sure. 23.
21.
23. Okay, so Rocky, since you're the first one in the room, you hear what sounds like light snoring coming from the arrow slit.
Okay. I'll kind of motion back to everyone else, like.
All right. So you move down the hallway, all of you very quietly. To this point, we'll keep your last stealth check. And you see that just about 15 feet down and on the left is another door out of this hallway.
All right. And then I'll kind of like motion to Syl, and I'll be like,
I'm getting pretty unworried by these doors at this point. I think we should just open it.
So just to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying out of character, because I assume I would know what Rocky's trying to tell me.
Sure.
You're telling me to go over to the other door and check it out?
I mean, yeah, I'm offering if you want to. Which Rowan says, and
I whispered. I'm just like, I think we should just open the door.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to trap it like this deep into their secret hideout.
And I'll kind of put my hand on the handle, and then I'll kind of look for confirmation from everyone else. Like, yeah, okay. And then I'll open up the door. I guess I'll try to be quiet. But
okay. Go ahead and make me a dexterity stealth check.
Sure. 14.
Great. All right. So it opens also quite quietly. You can hear the snores continue. And you open up this door, which then leads out into a hallway that turns left and right. To your left, you can see sort of a small-ish square room that is just covered with rusty weapons and threadbare clothing on the floor. It looks like there's not a whole lot in there. It looks pretty abandoned, in fact. And then to your right, the hallway continues down a little ways.
Okay.
Where's the snowing come from? Can we all hear it?
The snoring is coming from the right.
All right,
Snoring is
Rockstar.
coming from the right.
Let's go to the right then.
Sure. And we'll keep heading on our way.
All right, so you head to the right, and the snoring gets louder and louder. That is what you said, right?
Yes, to the right, yeah.
All right. You head to the right. The snoring gets louder and louder, and you eventually come to a little area off to the right where you can see this is clearly the other side of the arrow slits. And there is, in fact, curled up in one little corner, right underneath the arrow slits, is clutching a short bow, is a goblin just fast asleep.
Huh?
I'll kind of whisper back. There's a little goblin. It's asleep. What do we want to do?
Grab it.
Leave them.
Grab it?
Yeah.
I think that'll wake it up, though.
Yeah.
No.
Ani,
I've got
no.
2 no's and 1 yes.
Do we want to leave something behind us that could come back to shoot us in the ass with an arrow?
He doesn't even know we're here yet.
Yes, and then
Never
we've
needs
got
to know.
there's what's in front of us and what's
When I
behind
say-
us.
Okay, like
When
maybe.
I say grab it, I mean grab it with my axe across the neck.
Oh no! Just hit him in the head, but not to kill. Like just try to knock him out more. I guess knock him out more. Is that okay?
You know, we could just tie him up.
Yeah, we can do that
Escape.
too.
I don't think he's going to lay there sleeping while we tie him up.
Once I agree, I think Theron and I are on the same page, and we just this
That
thing.
doesn't happen often, does it? Huh?
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Having a breakthrough. This is nice.
Okay,
No,
so
get it.
There's
sit
2
back
people
there,
for
sit back.
killing it. And
I
there's
don't
2
like
people for
any
not
of this.
killing it. That makes me the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Good math. You're
All right, balance
learning.
boy. So what are we doing?
Give him credit. He's a
We
smart
need
man.
balance, Rocky. We need
Hold on, I'm
balance.
thinking.
Leaving it alive but
It's
maimed would be
unbalancing if we leave this
balance.
thing alive.
If we leave it alive, it could hurt us.
Yep.
If we kill it, we hurt it.
Rocky,
If it shoots us later, that's not good. But we don't want to hurt it, that's also not good. I think the only thing that makes sense is if we tie it up. And that way, we both don't hurt it, and it don't hurt us.
It could get out, Rocky.
Could. But then it has to choose if it wants to come after someone who is able to tie them up without them even realizing it.
Rocky, if
I've
we're
got
looking for
manacles.
if we're looking for balance, the balance between being dead and being alive would be unconscious, would it not?
Which it already is, so why make it harder?
That's sleep.
First
Is
and
it?
cast. I'm gonna go over with my rope, and I'm gonna try. Can I sneakily try to go? I'm just gonna do it.
Garrot.
Oh, I have Rowan on me.
Still. I'll fish out a set of manacles, except they've got like some nice fur on the interior. These are for Kid 3, so just use them.
Oh, I love these.
Yeah, right?
You would.
She bought me a pair for my birthday last year. That was so nice of her.
Yeah, wasn't it? She's delightful.
All right, so you're heading
You
over
have
to
no
the
idea
goblin.
what these are for.
No.
I'm sorry.
You're right.
You're heading over to the goblin with these manacles, and you're absolutely right about that. Go ahead and if you are, go ahead and make me a dexterity stealth check, please.
Would I need to as well if I'm following her to? Because if the goblin wakes up, I'm Xing this
that-
thing.
Yes, indeed, you would.
11.
All right, and
Okay.
Ani.
14.
All right, so you were both quiet enough to get up to the goblin without waking it. What are you doing, Syl?
Can I get it on him without waking him? Can I?
That is a really good question. I need you to make me a dexterity sleight of hand check.
Okay. Which dice do I use?
And I'm just holding my axes ready. The first sign of movement of this
So
thing.
You are.
25.
All right. So against all odds, you all watch. I just realized that you have expertise in sleight of hand. Don't you? Against all odds, Syl sort of slithers up to this goblin and just very carefully sort of lifts one arm, clamps. It's a good thing that they're like fuzzy, right? So it doesn't like they're not
Yeah, exactly. Well,
making
it's
noise
for
when
his
you
pump.
unlock them. Absolutely.
Almost as if she has a
Clips
pair
one
and uses
on.
them on the regular.
Definitely. Clips one arm on, and at that point, like the goblin sort of like starts to turn over, but she manages to go back. She grabs the other one, puts the other manacle on, and now this goblin is manacled up.
Here we go.
Well done.
While they're
Now I
doing
kill it, right? Now I kill it.
Yeah, with advantage. It's now restrained.
She just says in full voice, now I kill it, right?
I mean, he's not attached to anything, so he can technically still run around.
Mm-hmm.
Chop off his legs. Got it, Seal.
No, Annie, have we not? We need to have a talk later, you and I.
Yeah, fine. It's fine. This is what I do. It's fine. I got this.
How about for now, we let sleeping goblins lie?
No fun.
And Kithri gave me some string too. We could maybe use that. I don't know.
I also have some rope.
Yeah, your rope's fine.
But what are we going to tie it to?
No, just
So
tie slate
anything
together.
for me to tie him, like the manacles to like the wall or something?
Not really.
Nah.
I mean, yeah, it's just their bare walls and the arrow slits.
Well, I feel good
So
about
I
it.
Tie a knot through the arrow slit.
Thank you,
do I want-
Technoscald, for that 25 cheer for Let Sleeping Goblins Lie.
I think we're good. I think that this has been taken care of, and we can just go on.
Okay.
Sure. Let's
All
move
right.
on with that.
So the hallway sort of continues on past this room, and there's a set of stairs that goes down a little ways. So you head that direction, I presume. Still fairly quietly. In fact, why don't we have another group dexterity stealth check just to see how we go? Let's go around, starting with Theron.
Stealth, 23.
Excellent,
I'm
Rowan.
still skirting
You're
the
still
two.
being carried, but that's great. You're also being very quiet.
Yeah,
Ani,
I'm hiding behind her.
perfect. Ani.
19.
All
19.
right, Sil.
22.
Damn, y'all, and Rocky.
11.
I was waiting for like 2.
Yeah.
All right, so you all are being pretty quiet. You head around, you go down the little stairs, the hallway turns to the right, you go down a ways more. You get to an area that you can just sort of see ahead. There's a door, and the door is open, and you hear some voices on the other side of the door, but at this point, it's hard to make out what they're saying.
I'll be right back.
So you all going to approach the door?
Yeah.
Quietly. Yeah, those are great rolls. So you can approach the door pretty quietly. So you head down there, and you peek through the door. Who's taking point? Rocky again, or are we back to Sil this time?
I think it's Sil since Rocky stepped away from him.
Yes, I love that answer. So Sil, you and
Sure.
Rowan both sort of like peek through the cracked door, and on the other side, you can see 2 individuals who are standing in front of another door on the far side of the chamber, and they seem to be like pushing up pieces of furniture to barricade this door. One of them is I think you probably all would know what a Dwergar is. So a dark elf, a deep elf. Dwarf. Deep dwarf. Dark dwarf. Is there in the room, and he's pushing up like a little like table up against the other door to sort of barricade it. The other individual in the room you recognize immediately as that dude that sucker punched Yagra in the yawning portal earlier that night.
Ooh.
And that is who you see in there, also helping to barricade that. The human that sucker punched Yagra the half-orc in the yawning portal is sort of like chastising the Dwergar and saying like, that's not gonna work. We have to find, what was his voice? I don't remember. I think it was just gruff. So he's saying like, we have to find something to plug up the gap at the bottom. It's not just gonna work if we barricade the door.
Did they
And
seem
that
like...
they
No!
seem like a lot of things, but that's where we're going to leave it for this week's episode.
Oh.
We have reached pretty close to our time, and that feels like a nice little cliffhanger.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you all so very much for hanging out with us tonight, watching our episode 2 for the winter team for this mega stream. No, what am I calling it? Borg stream of Waterdeep Dragon Heist, hosted by Variant Roles. Let's go around and really quickly, once again, tell us all who you are, where we can find you on the interwebs, and your favorite moment from tonight. Why don't we start this time with Allison? Let's start with you tonight.
Okay, you can find me on Twitter at Atletica05. And I'm with Red Hand Roleplay as well. We have a new episode dropping tonight for session 17, part 1. So catch up on that. But the favorite moment tonight probably was when I didn't want to actually kill the Kenku, but I was like, nobody told Annie not to, so she's gonna do it. So I felt really conflicted myself on that one. I didn't want to, but I did.
Nice, really nice, excellent. Let's hop down to Max.
I'm Max, all Max D20 if you're looking anywhere on the internet for me. And my favorite part of the night was pretty much anything. I love the way this group would just interact.
Me too.
Casual banter.
I love it. 100%. Awesome. Alex, let's hop over to you.
I am Alex. You can find me on Twitter at GuardSong, or you can find me on Instagram at Wolf and Dagger. Oh man, favorite part of this night, I think, I love having Rowan up on my shoulders. But it's a tie between Rowan giving me literally BDSM fuzzy manacles, which is amazing, and I'm so happy. Like inside, I could just picture them perfectly in my brain, like just medieval furry manacles. But it was also the moment that Sil shared with Rocky when she was just trying to explain kind of what was going on. Just kind of that picture of grasping his hands and just having that moment with him was really, really cool.
Totally. I love it. Steven, your turn.
I'm Stephen Rowe. You can find me on Twitter at RightRow. And my favorite moment of the night, and there are so many, but it has to be when Rowan had caught the Kenku in the cage, and like he'd even stopped, and he was obviously he was trapped, and Annie just comes up and murders him. Yep. And that just tore Rowan apart because he helped that happen. Like maybe he would have gotten away if I just would have done nothing.
Oh no! Poor Rowan's gonna have nightmares.
Yeah, so that was my favorite moment of the night.
I do have the screenshot of his completely defeated face, by the way.
Oh, so do I. I have like 4. Don't worry. All right. And last but not least, Jonathan.
Hey, I'm Jonathan Cox. You can find me at Red Hand Roleplay on Twitter. And as I heard Allison mention, we do have a new episode dropping at the midnight or so tonight. So I'll be coming out for you. And yeah, I think my favorite moment, there were a lot this game. There was Rowan coming up on the shoulders. That was awesome. There was the moment with Sil, but I also just love the idea in my head that was playing the whole time of Rocky just with this Kenku in a triangle hold for like 30 minutes while you guys are all walking around.
Totally.
And he's just sitting there just waiting. What are we doing with this guy, huh? Anything? Okay, I'll keep holding.
I love it so much. All right, and I am Eugenio Vargas, also known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master DM Jazzy Hands. You can find me on Twitter at Eugenio_Vargas. I am the dungeon master for the actual play podcast, The Last Refuge. You can find us on Twitter at BND Last Refuge. We're dropping a new episode on Wednesday, so go check us out, dndlastrefuge.com, on iTunes, Play, and wherever else podcasts are found. So check us out. We're having a good time there, and be sure to come back next week to see us play. But before then, if you need your fix of Waterdeep Dragon Heist, the next team is going to be playing on Thursday night this week. So come back to twitch.tv/variantrolls and check out Thursday night as they continue with their adventure. Also, all of you, let your friends know that we're doing this. Encourage them to come watch these streams. I saw sort of our viewers pick up as the night went on. So hopefully you all are spreading the word, but continue to do so. It is an honor and a pleasure to play with these 5 fantastic humans. And I managed to watch the other 3 streams, and they're all a great time. So check us out. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday afternoon. This team will be back next Monday night, same time, same place. Watch us, follow the stream, subscribe to this channel if that is the thing that you do on Twitter. Check us out on Twitch, because that's where we are. Check us all out on Twitter. Feel free to send us messages. We will be thinking plenty about this game for the next 6 days until we get to come back. Thank you all so much. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you next time on Variant Roles for Waterdeep Dragon Heist Winter Crew. Good night, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.